right, welcome back to the IMNerd podcast. I'm your host, Frazier. I'm here with my co-host, Kenny.
Yo.
And we are here to talk about a couple things. One, this is something that I've held close to my heart since I was very young. When it comes to anime discussions, when it comes to anime protagonists, when it comes to anime characters fighting each other from different animes altogether, I have always hated anytime people bring up Dragon Ball Z characters against any other verse. It is one of those things that just triggers me. I've always thought it was dumb. I'm talking about when I was like 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old. You know, now I'm in my 30s, and I still think this has always been one of those things that I need people to stop doing on the internet. I think it is absolutely fine. If you want to compare different anime characters fighting each other, like you want to have Sung Jin-woo fighting against Naruto, or have Ichigo fighting against Asta, or whoever, do your big one. Do your absolute big one. You want Aizen versus Madara? Do your big one, right? Like you can.
That's a good one.
Kenpachi versus Byakuya versus, I don't know, two other people said Shomaru, and like some just do your big one.
Let's throw Mihawk in there. Fuck it.
Yeah, like Dracula Mihawk. Yeah, exactly. A swordsman. There you go. Then everyone has a sword, right? Do your big one. Leave Dragon Ball out of it. I'm talking about the entire verse. Like, just leave Dragon Ball characters out of it. I hate every single time we see this, and it comes up like almost. It probably comes up every year. It definitely comes up all the time.
One of the earliest videos on our YouTube channel was like somebody asked it. And they were like, I forget exactly how it got brought up, but people were arguing at the time, Gojo versus Beerus.
Yes.
And it's like...
That is such... And especially looking at it now, like, we just saw the Shibuya incident arc was the last arc of Jujutsu Kaisen, so we've seen more of what Gojo can do. And I will just say this. That man was in a train station and got tired out from fighting a bunch of goons, like just a bunch of goblins and goons and humans or whatever that were turned into curses. That overwhelmed him to the point where he was out, like not literally out of stamina, but he was huffing and puffing and struggling to save a subway's worth of humans. Whereas Beerus could literally destroy the entire planet before Gojo could even think. And all the humans that he was trying to protect, including ones that he wasn't trying to protect, are all gone and vaporized.
And it's not one of those, because I think sometimes people say, oh, destroy the whole entire planet. They think of it as like, you use this big, super strong attack. Beerus literally like takes his fingernail and like clicks like a piece of the earth, and it goes, boom, and he blows it up. Like he just like clicks it and it blows up the entire planet.
He's a god of destruction. Like literally, it is in his power to naturally destroy planets. That's what he does. So anytime people bring up like Goku versus people, it's usually Goku being involved. Usually you don't get Beerus involved. Usually you don't get the God of Destructions involved or the Angels, because they came way later.
Nah,
a lot of people
because they're nowhere. Yeah, Goku's the OG.
Yeah, Goku is like what everyone knows, but Goku is comparable to Beerus. So like, why are you comparing someone who is literally comparable to a God of Destruction to fucking Monkey D. Luffy, who just got his ultimate power up in the last, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years maybe, and his power up is broken. Don't get me wrong, like it's very good, but again, it has not done anything that makes me believe that Luffy could actually beat Goku. And the other thing that I hate, we could definitely get into this too, people try to make these bullshit arguments of like, oh well, like Luffy can't be hurt by physical attacks unless you have Haki, and like Goku's from Dragon Ball world, they have Ki, so he doesn't have Haki. It's like, well, first of all, if they're going to fight, right, whose verse are they fighting in? Because Goku absolutely has Haki. Like if he's fighting in a One Piece verse, his skills just translate to Haki anyway. Goku has literally a lot of abilities that are just comparable to like the Sharingan, that are comparable to Sage Mode, that are comparable to Haki. And what I mean by this is literally throughout all Dragon Balls, Goku is able to literally sense things. He's able to sense energy, right? Which is like Sage Mode can do that. Haki can do that. Like all different types of Sharingan can do that, all different types of things, right? There are people in Bleach who can sense energy, Rietsu, and stuff like that. Goku has that exact same ability, right? You can translate
different names. I hate when people are like, oh, well, they don't have Rietsu, so they can't do this. It's like, it's all the same
It's chakra, it's ki.
Chakra, Rietsu,
yes.
Like, it's all the same. I get, like, in Naruto, they have, like, a chakra network, and they have this whole other explanation on it. But at the end of the day, they're just fighting with powers.
Yes.
Like, it's chakra, ki, it's the same shit.
And if you think that a punch from Goku that can literally vaporize mountains could not harm a One Piece character, you're being delusional. I don't care if the One Piece character is the main One Piece character. Luffy will still get fucking vaporized in a fight against Goku because there's no world where he's surviving any of the attacks, the ridiculous attacks and the destructive force. He's never fought anyone who has destructive force on that level. Not even close.
No, it's not even comparable. Also, like, there's even if you give like, oh, blunt punches, Goku can sharpen. Like, Goku can use his ki to sharpen his finger. Remember when he blocked Trunks' sword?
Yeah.
Like, Goku could just, like, if he wanted to, like, create a stabbing attack with his finger, like, he could do that. You know what I mean? Like,
but more importantly, I really do just think that when comparing the different anime verses and comparing the different energy systems, they're all just comparable. Chakra, ki, Ryetsu, like Haki, all of that shit. Just like, they're all the same. They're all just their version of the same thing. It's all Japanese.
Like,
it's all...
A lot of people say Itachi would kill Goku because of like Genjutsu. And then some people will say, oh, Genjutsu won't work on Goku because he doesn't have chakra. I say Genjutsu works. I just don't think it's going to kill him. Like, I just don't think you're going to kill Goku with a Genjutsu.
Yeah, I don't think that that's going to be enough. I also think that because we've seen characters break out of Genjutsu in Naruto, like, it's not like Genjutsu just absolutely solos the entire Naruto verse. Like, there are multiple characters who break out of Genjutsu, and I have no reason to believe that Goku, as powerful and as ridiculous as he is in all his spiritual training and energy training and things like that, would not be able to break out of a Genjutsu. Yeah. Like, there's nothing that proves that he wouldn't be able to do that.
I'm a strong disciple of Aizen, where it's like, oh no, you sure that technique does, if you touch me twice I die, but I'm just strong.
Yes,
like I'm so much stronger that like that touch me twice shit don't matter.
I love Aizen for that. Tite Kubo is actually the GOAT because Tite Kubo wrote into Aizen's character and into the Bleach lore, which honestly to me does translate well into just like anime in general. A battle between two people is really down to who has the stronger spiritual pressure. Or if you want to translate the different word, ki, chakra, haki, whatever. Like, Luffy, Conqueror's haki is literally just Luffy being like, okay, I'm stronger than all of these people who are the weaklings. It's like the same thing. It's like they all have this type of ability in these different verses. Like, you know when somebody is way stronger than you. Literally, Goku, when he powers up to Super Saiyan, everyone around him will comment about how they feel the air get super dense and it's like hard to breathe and it's all, and I can't keep up with their movements anymore. Like, you hear all these lines across different verses. So it's like these concepts just are applicable across the anime verse. And obviously, yes, I do not think that literally Dragon Ball characters are the end all be all most powerful anime characters that there are, because that is super hyperbolic. And I have no research to actually like verify that there are not characters who would just wipe Dragon Ball characters out of existence or whatnot, that are just like reality warping characters that can literally be like, well, we're not even fighting. Goku does not exist. Like, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
If those characters exist in certain anime, there are characters like Alaka whose abilities are just so far and beyond anything that I even understand. Like, they can just ring people out and like into non-exist, like ring you out into non-existence. That's not like a thing that happens in most things. That's like a reality warping ability, right?
That's the thing too, is like, I'm all fine having arguments with people that want to like have characters fight. I think it's fun. I tend to leave Dragon Ball Z out of it, but like if somebody wants to bring it in, like I'll talk about it. But it has to be a fight. If you say like, oh, well, they lose to this guy because like when he closes his eyes to sleep, he sleeps on the whole universe. And when he's asleep, the world doesn't exist. Sure, whatever. I don't fucking care. Like, they're not fighting. I'm talking about them fighting.
Yeah, like I'm talking about characters who are throwing punches, kicks, throwing blasts, doing all the things, using abilities. But if you have a reality warping character and they're just like, oh, this character literally just breathes and you don't exist anymore, or they can rewrite the past, and so Goku never came to Earth and his spaceship actually crashed into like some other planet and he got eaten as a child, as an infant, and like, okay, cool, like that's great discussion. What are we doing, right?
What do you want from me?
But in terms of having him fight against the Mizukage or something, or fight against Gaara, having fucking Piccolo fight against a Hashira, like, what are we doing? Like, why is Piccolo fighting a Hashira?
Gaara versus Crocodile is interesting.
Oh, that would be such a cool fight.
Yeah, like Gaara Crocodile, I think that's sick as hell.
They're comparable,
but like
too.
Goku, anyone, not that interesting.
No, I think that's a very good one. Gaara versus Crocodile will be hype as fuck. I'm surprised that Death Battle hasn't done that just on the premise that they both control sand, and that's such a unique thing in anime. Like, not many characters specifically control sand that I can think of, at least not iconically, besides those two. So yeah, that would be a cool fight. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting discussions that you could have. I know people wank Naruto a lot these days, and a lot of the newer generation that came after me and Kenny. So Kenny and I are we're millennials. I think Gen Z is absolutely obsessed with Naruto, and that's like their anime. That's like their Dragon Ball Z in a way. It's kind of what they grew up on. So to them, they think of Naruto, the anime, not just a character, but they think of Naruto, the anime, as like their end all be all a lot of the times, because a lot of them just haven't even seen Dragon Ball Z from beginning to end or whatnot.
Or they only know of Dragon Ball Z like second hand or third hand. Like they don't actually, they haven't actually consumed Dragon Ball Z. I find that true for a lot of people, where they just kind of know of Dragon Ball Z. They haven't actually seen it themselves.
Before Dragon Ball Z, before Dragon Ball Z even starts, Frieza literally, for shits and giggles, wiped out an entire planet of Saiyans. And that was literally for shits and giggles with no effort whatsoever. He literally is laughing while he's doing it. It takes him no exertion. And this is before Dragon Ball Z ever even airs. Like this is in between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. He's just like, I am doing this. Not even before, it's actually before Dragon Ball, right? Because he does it before. It's like it predates everything. It happens before. I mean, it happens when Goku's like born. Yes,
Goku gets sent to Earth. Well, not necessarily sent to Earth, but he gets sent into space.
Yes,
and he ends up on Earth, and then Frieza destroys Planet Vegeta.
Yeah, that predates
like right at that time.
That predates all of the things that happen in all of Dragon Ball Z and all of Dragon Ball. So that's actually
predating that. You know, Majin Buu destroyed solar systems. He just like went around the universe destroying solar systems like effortlessly, just like went around the universe destroying solar systems.
And to be clear, Dragon Ball also does have these outrageous characters like Majin Buu, who, if you want to argue the whole like can't be damaged angle, right? Like if you want to bring somebody who's I'm rubber, you're glue, if you want to do that, then like there is Majin Buu, who literally we've seen be blown to actual bits and completely regenerate from nothingness, from actual nothing. Like it's one thing for Cell. They made a very clear distinction with the scaling on like from going from Cell to Buu. Cell, if you destroy the nucleus in his brain, he dies. That is how Gohan beat him. He just Kamehamehas him. And if his head is no longer intact, essentially, then the body cannot regenerate. But every other time, if you take all his limbs away, but his head is still intact, he will regenerate completely. And that was what made Cell so ridiculous, outside of him also having genetics from all the other species. You take Majin Buu, and the final explosion happens, and it literally vaporizes him completely. There's nothing left, literally. So, like, in our world, right, and in the most understanding of science, they say energy cannot be created or destroyed. Well, in Dragon Ball, energy can be created because Buu, literally, his energy is completely destroyed. And then from nothingness, it just reappears into tiny little Buus that pile onto each other, and they just form Majin Buu again. And then Vegeta's sacrifice meant absolutely nothing. That is the thing. So, they're
so ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball Z characters are ridiculous. I love Dragon Ball Z. I love that we're getting random Dragon Ball Z content or Dragon Ball content. It's funny because, like, so, you know, we're talking about Dragon Ball Daima as well, but, like, it's funny because obviously this isn't written to be, like, someone's magnum opus, right? Dragon Ball Daima is clearly written for it to just be fun and happy and whatever, and it's actually legitimately funny. I laughed in multiple episodes.
I laughed
so out loud. It's so funny. But, like, every time these things come up, and from what I understand, something crazy happens. So we're covering episodes 1 through 10. We talked about episode 1 in a previous podcast, but we're covering episodes 1 through 10 today, and then we'll cover 11 to 20 and the next time we cover Daima, which will probably be soon.
Yep.
But I heard something crazy happens later on. I don't know what it is because I haven't seen it. But every time a new Dragon Ball thing comes out, it comes up where people start trying to compare Goku to people, allegedly the guy who's writing Dragon Ball Super, who's not Akira Toriyama, but the guy who's writing Dragon Ball Super claimed that Goku couldn't injure Luffy's base form, and all kinds of random shit gets said by people. And I think that's what sparked Frazier's intro to all of this.
Yeah.
Is that it's just like, can we just retire Goku? Like, he's the king. At the end of the day, most people that you would actually have a fight with, Goku does win.
Yes.
Like, he just wins. Like, he literally just, if it's not like, I turn off the universe when I close my eyes, like, Goku usually wins. Like, we can just move on.
I agree. And actually, what's so cool about Daima is that it actually adds more context to the lore of the Dragon Ball universe.
Yeah, it does. It adds a whole bunch of random shit.
It does. As I'm watching it, we've only seen the first 10 episodes, and the season is 20 episodes total. So we're halfway through the season, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I really enjoy how much lore they add. For example, the Supreme Kai is from a race of things called the Glens that are born from trees. There's 5 of these trees. They're born every couple centuries. One is born every couple centuries. from these 5 trees. The trees have all died out essentially, and now basically the Glens, the Supreme Kai and his race, they're going to die out eventually as well. Majin Buu was not actually created by Bibbidi or Bobbidi or any of them. It was actually created by some fucking witch, like a witch doctor in a forest somewhere in the demon realm.
Yeah, she worked with Bibbidi or something, but like Bibbidi, she I guess she's like more powerful than Bibbidi, and Bibbidi kind of stole her creation or something.
Yeah, he just asked her to make Majin Buu essentially, and she did it, but the problem is she considers it to be a flop because it was uncontrollable. And Arin, who is the demon sister, basically, she's like one of the people left after Deborah has been gone now, and so you got Goma, I think is the name of the main little villain dude, who's like a little joker, a little jester. I love his design. I have some thoughts about what's going to happen with him too.
I was going to say something that I like about him and that I like about Daima is that they kind of like, they made them small again like GT, but also like original Dragon Ball.
Yes.
The idea is they wanted to have an adventure. Like they wanted to have a fun adventure, not just like raising stakes of power levels.
Right.
So they wanted to kind of have like a fun adventure thing. So that's their way of doing it. And then what's cool is that you have like Goma kind of being a stand-in for Emperor Pilaf.
Yep.
He's essentially the Pilaf, and then like we're going on a little adventure. We're doing stuff in the demon realm. There's a new set of Dragon Balls. That's something else I like too. Just to like gloss over some quick things. There's a lot of people that hate that every time there's a new Dragon Ball series, they somehow introduce a new set of Dragon Balls, and like people hate that. I like it. They find new ways to expand on the lore, but also at the end of the day, it is the namesake of the show.
Yes.
And to make the Dragon Balls actually relevant to the plot and story, I think is kind of fun and interesting. It's like actually having them included in some weird way. And it's different every time. There's the Black Star Dragon Balls, which have their drawback. There's these Dragon Balls, which have these Guardians. I think it's fun. They do different things every time. I enjoy it.
Adding to the lore of the whole verse, now we have a bigger scope. So the Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm are the first Dragon Balls ever.
Yeah.
So when people say, oh, your world has Dragon Balls too, to anyone in the Demon Realm, they're like, well, hold on. Because when you say 2, we had the first Dragon Balls. So if anything, your world has Dragon Balls too, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Like the Namekians here, which Namekians come from the Demon Realm. So, and it's cool because then you get this lore about the Demon Realm. The Demon Realm is broken up into 3 worlds. There's 3 demon worlds within the Demon Realm. So a lot of this can be a bit confusing, but like if you just pay attention, I think that it's actually pretty digestible. Like I got so much from watching this. Like I got so many little like tidbits. There's this Warp Sama who's this giant goldfish, and like you can go between worlds using him, and you have to have a password and stuff like that, because there was a time where people could go back and forth without a password, and it got like really bad, obviously.
Two things about him. So he eats you and then he poops you out, and then you end up in a new dimension. But did you notice so when he eats you and you're in him, and then like the portal that like sends you out of his butt, that's the same thing that was on Bobbity's spaceship. Like on Bobbity's spaceship when they were fighting, when it was like Deborah, Pui, and they were fighting with like Vegeta and Gohan, etc. They had like this thing on the floor, and it looked exactly like the portal that warps the warp fish uses. That was on Bobbity's spaceship. And then if you remember, like they went to like Pui's planet, and Vegeta fought Pui on his planet, and they were like, "Oh, my gravity's 10 times Earth." And
I remember that.
One shot of them. But yeah, it's the exact same design that was on Bobbity's planet. I mean, spaceship.
That's actually really dope. I like the whole idea that the spaceships and the Warp Sama and the Demon Realm getting to other worlds, you need to use this giant goldfish thing that you're saying. Essentially, it's not like they wrote this back when Bobbity and everything was a character. It's more so like they went back to the original story of Dragon Ball Z, and they were like, how can we reference things that have been shown, the design choices that were made by Akira Toriyama back 30 years ago? How can we reference that and then use it in the lore for Daima to make a bigger universe and like fill in the lore? And I love that. Yeah,
it's not like some grand design where all this was planned 40 years ago. Right. Because it wasn't. This wasn't all planned 40 years ago. I do think there's some things that were like maybe Akira Toriyama knew that wasn't included in the story. Like, for example, we do know, and this is in original Dragon Ball, but like Piccolo was from
I knew you were going to say that, yes.
Like the Demon Realm did exist. Demons existed. There was a Demon Realm. Piccolo was Demon King Piccolo, which I now wonder if maybe he was the king of the second demon world. Because there's 3 demon worlds, and there's the Supreme King, which is currently Goma. But then like in Demon World 3, there was like the king of Demon World 3, which was by the way, one of my favorite characters. I fucking love that big fat guy.
Yeah, with the mustache.
I watched it in English. I don't know But he has like his whole group are New Yorkers.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, yo, man, what's going on
Yeah,
here?
they're blatantly. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm a native New Yorker. Like they have that fucking Wendy Williams voice. Like they smoked a pack of cigs. Oh, I love New York. Dogs and coffee and chocolate. Like they just
100%.
But yeah, since the Namekians
were part of Demon World 2, I wonder if that's where Demon King Piccolo was the Demon King, Demon World 2, or if he was like the Supreme Demon King over all 3. I don't know.
There's lore. But, there's lore about the Namekians in general that gets filled in. So one, they were treated like a little bit more than slaves. So essentially they were slaves. Mm-hmm. Like if anyone says you're treated just slightly better than a slave, then that's really fucking terrible, obviously. So Namekians, because they're really powerful, they have like these powerful abilities, and their abilities, I guess, are just wanted by other people in the demon realm, and they get subjugated because of that. Like everyone knows that, okay, these guys, their magic, as they call it in the demon realm, like everything is like called magic. A Kamehameha is considered magic, for example, or like the ability to teleport, instant transmission is considered magic. All of those, anything that you do, like turning your hair color yellow or gold or whatever, is also considered magic. And so the Namekians have magic. You know, they have magic over the Dragon Balls. Like they are connected. Namekians are often connected to the Dragon Balls. They can summon them. If they die, the Dragon Balls turn to stone. All types of things like that. And this is just like old Dragon Ball lore. But in this, it's also discovered that they all at one point like left the original planet Namek, right? Like the original Namekian planet. They left that planet and took trees with them. And apparently they restarted their entire like lineage and everything on a different planet, which is, you know, in the regular world, right? The regular universe outside of the demon realm. They started their own planet Namek there, planted the trees, which ends up turning the entire planet green over time. And it was commented that that has to take a lot of effort, because it's not like they just plant the seeds for the trees or whatever. Yeah. And it just happened overnight. Like, oh, this planet that we just inhabit, like let's say they went to Mars and they planted the seeds on Mars. It's not like Mars went from being red to green overnight. This probably took centuries for it to eventually become a new planet Namek, which I love that they're just filling in, like, how did the new planet Namek happen? If you guys are from the demon realm, how the fuck did you end up outside of the demon realm on a whole different planet that is planet Namek? How did that happen? So
yeah, there's a lot of really cool shit with all of that, just like interesting tidbits with the demons and planet Namek. And also it's funny because it goes to show, because when Frazier destroys planet Namek, you know, they end up having to do that again. You know, they end up having to make a new Namek. Luckily, in the universe that they were in, if I remember correctly, essentially they found, just like they searched the universe and found another planet that was already very similar to their planet they had. Right. And then they went there and they were able to, you know, create new Namek. But yeah, I mean, they've been kicked out of their home more than once.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It kind of gives allusions to maybe Native American vibes too, when you think about it, because like they're native to one place, they eventually get like subjugated, treated really bad, they leave and say, okay, we're just going to go make our home somewhere else and do it exactly the same way, and then it happens again where they get terrorized and they're forced to leave and start anew. It definitely gives allusions to like that, you know, art imitates life type vibe.
Yeah, and they like live off the land and have like a respect for nature. Like they have Namekians tend to have a connection to nature and like the way they use their magic and everything, and like more so than a lot of other races in the Dragon Ball universe.
Yeah. So a couple things I definitely want to touch on is the Namekian from the demon realm who is still there. Like he's like the last Namekian basically. He's super old. He is terrifying to me. You can tell. You can tell that he is outrageously powerful, and they have talked about him in high regard. They hold him in very high esteem. They say how like his abilities are far beyond most other things in the demon realm. The way he can just summon the Dragon Balls, or like
while they're stone.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing shit that like Dende and Piccolo could never, right? Like is the way his eyes turn red and he just like lifts up his hand. He just seems broken to me. He's old, so naturally I have reverence for old anime characters. Yep. He gives off the vibe like you do not fuck with him, and I hope that throughout these 20 episodes that like nothing happens to take him off of that high pedestal that I have him in my head, because they do hold him at high esteem when they talk about him. I don't remember his name though, but
I don't remember his name either. I don't remember a lot of names, which is funny because there's one name I do remember. I mean, I remember some names, but there's one name I remember, and I remember it because Goku doesn't. I remember because every time Goku says this man's name,
Giorgio?
He's like, "Hey, Gordita," And then he called him Gordita. He called him Giorgio.
Yeah.
He called him like fucking. There was another one that made me laugh so hard. But he called them every fucking word, every name that could have started with the letter G. Besides Glorio. And then what was so funny to me is you find out Supreme Kai has a real name, which was like Niharu or something. I forget how to say it.
Yeah.
But Goku never got that name wrong once. Goku said he learned Supreme Kai had some random ass name and got it right every time, but always got Glorio's name wrong, which I thought was really funny and interesting. And I wonder if that has something to do with like Goku not caring or having like, I don't know, like, because he had no problem remembering Supreme Kai's name when he first heard it. With Niharu or whatever it was, but he couldn't stop calling this man Gordito and whatever the fuck else he called him.
I think I actually wrote down in Namekian who protects the Demon Realms Dragon Balls. I have a bullet point here that says Neva.
Okay, that might be it.
And I actually, because like you said, there's a lot of names and I have a lot of notes that I took, but in the notes, I wrote down the names the way they were pronounced in English because I also watched it in English. It's funny, I watched the first 7 episodes in English, and then I transitioned to watching 8, 9, and 10 in Japanese, not intentionally. It just kind of happened by accident because when I started back today, I started on my laptop. And when I originally was watching, I was watching it on my PC. So I was laying in bed this morning and I was like, I'm going to finish these last 3 episodes. So then I did this thing, Chrome, all of your Chromes are connected on your phone, your iPad, your PC, your desktop, whatever. I did the thing where you pull up a tab that you have on another device. So I pulled up the Dragon Ball tab, hoping that it would put me on the episode that I was on, the exact same page, and it did that. However, it didn't automatically default it to English, to the dub version. It defaulted to the Japanese. So when the episode started, I noticed that the intro was playing, and normally I have the intro thing on skip. So the intro was playing, then I clicked skip intro, and I went right into it. And then immediately, episode 8 started off with the Tamagami fighting against Goku. And they were speaking in Japanese, and I was like, okay, I immediately heard a word that I knew in Japanese, hontoni, which is like really, is like you're actually really strong or really fast. He's like hontoni hayai. And I was like, yo, I actually understood that. So I was like, I'm gonna watch these 3 episodes in Japanese just because it's kind of helping me with my Japanese. Like the word plane, they use the word plane a lot, and in Japanese it's hokoki. And I heard that word be used multiple times throughout episodes 8, 9, and 10 because obviously this whole 10 episodes was focusing a lot around the planes. It's like a big part of everything that's happening is the planes. And they said hokoki in Japanese, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like I'm picking up on actual Japanese words. So that's like my whole rant.
Speaking on the planes real quick. So because we're jumping around.
Yeah, we're going to be all over the place.
There's a part where like Vegeta and Co. finally, they're like stranded, right? They get their plane stolen. So then Goku's group shows up and they're like, all right, great. It's going to be a tight fit, but we'll all get in there. And then Goku's like, y'all have it confused. There's not room in our plane. Y'all just going to have to chill here. We'll send some help. Yep. You can catch up later, but like, we got to go. Right? I was like, yo, that's fucked up. So Goku and them leave. And then like 2 episodes later, their plane gets eaten. And then so Goku shows up and he's like, hey guys, like our plane got eaten. Like we gotta make room in your plane, bro. Like I don't know what so anyway, y'all gotta make room because we coming in.
Yep.
And I was like, bro. Like if I was Vegeta, I'd have kicked y'all motherfuckers.
Yo, Goku is
like,
such
y'all
an
not
asshole.
coming in this plane.
And the reason why he actually did that is because Goku wanted to fight the Tamagami by himself. He did not want Vegeta to also be a part of the fight. He enjoyed fighting the third world's Tamagami so I'm going to call them Tamagotchis at this point. He enjoyed fighting the third world's Tamagotchi so much that when it was time for them to go to the next realm, to the second realm or whatever, the second world, he was just like, yeah, we actually don't have room, so you guys stay here and we're going to go on ahead. And then even Piccolo was like, it appears he's obsessed with fighting the Tamagamis. And Vegeta got mad.
You messing that word up just made me think of something, because I think Tamagotchi means like friend, pet, or because I think Tama means friend. Okay. I wonder what Tamagami means.
So yeah, Tomodachi is friend in Japanese. The word Tomodachi. So Tomodachi to basketball to Oshigas means like I'm going to play basketball with friends.
Yeah, I wonder what Tamagami means, if it has any. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I wonder if it means friend, if there's like some more lore there.
Tomodachi.
But yeah, Goku wanted to fight them by himself, and that fight was cool.
Which
number
fight?
3 versus Goku.
Oh, that's when I sent you a message this morning and I said Goku is not real. I watched Goku. First of all, this is one of the coolest things about Daima. I actually really like Daima because one of my biggest gripes with Dragon Ball Z, even when I was younger, and granted, I love Dragon Ball Z when I was younger, but even when I was younger, I always hated the repeated animation. I always knew that like this is a budget decision, right? This is something that it's it's the moment that we live in, the times that we lived in the early 90s and 2000s. This is just how anime is made. You look at Yu Hakusho, same thing. You're going to get repeated animation whenever you see a fight. And what I mean by that, when Dragon Ball Z characters throw a flurry of punches, it's always like the same 5 frames replayed over and over and over again. And that's kind of just a symbolic of, oh, they're throwing rapid jabs and the character's dodging all of them. And it was cool for multiple instances when I was a kid, but after so much of that, seeing it over and over, Toonami used to start over Dragon Ball Z every couple months.
Yeah.
Having to see it so much, you start to get like jaded from it. And then we grew up and now we're in our 30s and technology is insane. Animation is insane. The leaps in animation have been absurd. So now when I'm watching Daima, I'm so appreciative and low-key jealous of people who are younger than me who get to experience this as like one of their first anime, because the animation in episode 8 of Goku versus the Tomogami.
Yeah, I'm just calling him number 3.
Number 3, when he fights number 3 who has the Megaton hammer that can be used like Thor's hammer, that fight is so epic, and there are no repeated frames in the entire thing. It's all original animation, and it's long. It's a long fight.
It's a good fucking fight too, and I love like how he's using the power pole. He goes and like gets the power pole under his foot and like unbalances one foot and then takes the power pole and hits the back of his knee on the other leg, and then like there's some really good animation and a really good back and forth in that fight. That's just super entertaining and interesting. And they keep making new random Dragon Ball stuff. If they just remade Dragon Ball, that would go hard.
Yes.
If they just remade Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, like with new animation, like that would go fucking hard.
That is going to happen eventually. I don't know if it'll be during our lifetime. I don't know if it'll be when we're old as dirt, but that remaking Dragon Ball Z will 100% happen.
Yeah.
I think that's just like in the cards. It's such an iconic series. And I think eventually it does need that just due of having its entire animation all updated and modernized to be insane, because the animators these days, they can do tricks on it. Like, it will be fucking absurd to see Goku versus Raditz, Goku and Piccolo versus Raditz, and then like Nappa and Vegeta versus the Z Fighters, and then Goku comes in and he zero diffs Nappa and all that. Like, all of those moments, just seeing them with updated animation and not just the repeated frames and stuff like that, or the super long padded moments where they're just kind of standing there and not really doing anything, taking all of that out and just replacing it with like actual content or animation that, is better on the eyes, would just be amazing. Like, it would be amazing. I have no doubts. Episode 8 was insane to me. That started off with a fight, and I was like, holy shit, this is cool. There was a part where Goku got knocked in between basically like a cavern. Not a cavern, but like it was a fissure. It was literally a fissure.
Yeah.
He gets knocked in between the fissure, so the ground is split apart, but it's really high, and he's in between like a crevice, and he's flying backwards. He turns his power pole horizontals to stop him from flying back. And so now he's like literally using the power pole as a monkey bar in the middle of and then he like turns it the other way and then like vaults forward, and the hammer comes at him. He fucking flips over the hammer, like goes Super Saiyan, cuts the hammer's hilt in half, and then like flies with the hammer. Just the amount of shit that Goku was doing, going Super Saiyan, you could tell he was playing in the first like 5 minutes of the fight. He wasn't really trying as hard. And then eventually he goes Super Saiyan, and the Tomogami number 3 like heats up and starts doing energy attacks. And Goku says, is that what we're doing?
That's how we're going to play now. I could do that, by the way. Yeah. I didn't know y'all wanted to play that way. Okay. I'll show you what's up.
Yeah, after the hammer flies down, like after Goku cuts the hammer's actual hilt so that he can no longer technically hold it, even though we found out later he could just heal it. But it's a point where Goku breaks the hammer, essentially. And so the Tamagami's like, all right, I'm going to start using energy attacks. And Goku's like, oh, we're going to do that. And Goku starts doing the same thing. He starts Super Saiyan mode and starts doing like the flurry of little blasts, like the little key blast. And then the thing turns up again, breaks the ground apart, and like shoots a really big blast. And Goku starts charging up the Kamehameha. And that's when everybody's eyes get big, like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, shit. What kind of magic spell is he about to do? He is on some shit. That's the thing I love about Goku, too, is that, like, that's something else, like, to just talk about this, but also kind of bring it back to something from earlier, is that these other anime characters, like, people don't enjoy fighting the way Goku enjoys fighting. Like, the way he loves fighting, like, he will just go so long without going all out. Like, even when he goes Super Saiyan, like, that's still not him going all out. That's like, at best, that's still so much lower than where he goes, like, from how much stronger he can get. And there's levels. It's insane. But, like, he just loves fighting, and he loves sitting there fighting you, learning how you fight, getting beat up, and just, like, he enjoys getting in fights and like there's a part in like earlier in the episode, in one of the episodes, where he saves Pansy.
Yeah.
And like the other random villagers. And like it's funny because Goku's a hero by accident. Like he's a hero and he likes help, he helps people, but it feels like he helps people as a side effect of him enjoying the excuse to get in a fight.
Yep.
Like I just get to go in here and get and fight people. And like I don't want these people to get hurt. So like he does like the fact that he's helping people, but it's secondary to the fact that he just wanted to get into a fight and he wanted to like rumble a little bit.
There was a part in the bar where a wolf and a bunch of other like goons come in and they start just being assholes, and Goku's like, do you want me to beat them up? Like just literally as blunt as I just said it. He just says it just like that. He's like, do you want me to beat them up? And that's just like, that's just how he is. He loves fighting. And you could tell that he's enjoying himself so much against number 3. And when he goes Super Saiyan, he even smiles. And then he turns up so much. And the Tamagami's having a hard time keeping up, obviously, because Goku, everyone's talking about the Tamagamis are so strong that they've never been beaten. The Tamagamis are so strong that no one has ever gotten their wish off in the demon realm ever.
Yep. A wish has never been granted.
A wish has never been granted. Because the Tamagamis are that strong that a wish has never been granted in the demon realm. That is fucking insane. So Goku goes to challenge the number 3. And they're fighting, and then the thing turns up and starts doing energy blast. Goku charges up Kamehameha, and at first I was like, oh, they're going to have a power clash. But when Goku's Kamehameha touches the fucking red laser that the Tamagami shot out, it literally pierces it immediately with no resistance, goes straight through it. The Tamagami is forced to then block with his hands the Kamehameha. But then the Kamehameha pushes him back, lifts him up off the ground, pushes him into a fucking cliff. Eventually, the Tamagami throws the Kamehameha in the air, like he lifts his hand, and like the Kamehameha flies into the air and explodes. But as soon as that happens and he's already exhausted, Goku flash steps and elbows him in the fucking stomach, drops him to his knees, spitting out saliva, and then Goku just standing there waiting for him to get up. The thing is like, yo, I surrender. And Goku's like, oh, come on, you can surely fight more than that. And he's like, I can, but there's no point.
Yep. He's like, I understood. Like, there's nowhere where this was going. Like, I can keep fighting, but you won. Like, I'm not winning. Like, I can't. There's nothing I can do.
I love the acknowledgement from both of them. The acknowledgement that Goku knew, okay, that hit that I just gave you, I purposely did not kill you.
Yep.
I know you can fight more, and I want to fight more, because Goku's standing there, like, not attacking him while he's down. He's waiting. He's like, come on, get up. Like, keep fighting. And the thing is, I actually give up here because I literally know I cannot beat you now. Like, you aren't even really trying with me, if we're being completely honest. You're not actually trying, because you could have been... It's kind of a realization. You could have started off like this.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You could have started off... Like, I've been using my best shit. I've been going Megaton Hammer. I've been using gravity pulls and Thor's abilities and shit, Milnor. And I've been doing all the things. I've been doing Blast, and I blew up the ground. And you just literally have not taken any... Goku didn't take any damage in this fight at all.
No, he was just styling on him, all right? He was just having his good old time doing whatever he wanted, just having fun, not trying, but like still, and that's the other thing that's fun too for Goku is that not powering up all the way allows him to be weaker, and so while he's weaker, it's still fun, right? Because he's not able to completely overpower them because he's weaker. And then he powers up a little bit here and there just to show off. Like, for example, when Goku fought, I fucking love when Goku fought Gordita. So they're sleeping in a cave and the Minotaur shows up. And Goku's like, they get woken up and he's like, oh, it's a cow. Like, why'd you guys wake me up for a cow?
Yeah,
like,
and it stinks too. Scary. It smells really bad.
Yeah. And the Minotaur is like getting all angry and shit. And then Gordita's like, I'll take care of it. And Goku's like, nah, I think I'll take care of it. Like, not for nothing. I think he might be above you. Talking about the Minotaur.
Yeah.
And fucking Gordita's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, do you really think you're that much stronger than me? Goku's like, well, I mean, like, yeah. Like, I do.
Like, have you not been paying attention?
Yeah. Like, and I said out loud when that happened, I was like, you went to go get him.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't come. Like, you went and recruited Goku, all right? Like, Goku didn't go through dimensions looking for Gordita, okay? Like, you came looking for me.
That's a very good point. Like, why all of a sudden would you think that you're even comparable in strength to me?
Yeah, and then so he's thinking, oh, well, because you're a kid now, you're weaker, you're smaller, which is accurate. He is weaker, but so Goku's like, all right, and so they go to fight, and he starts doing some cool shit, like he puts his finger in the air and has this purple lightning attack. He's doing all kinds of cool shit. He's showing off, like he's got some cool shit. But Goku let him know too. Like he did they have this whole back and forth, all this shit happens. He throws this super compressed mega laser. Goku just breaks it with his fingertips, completely dissipates the laser with his fingertips. And in that same moment, he appears behind him and just puts his hand on his back.
Yep.
Like, bro,
he's like, can we stop
it's
now?
over. like it's over.
Yeah, literally says like, are we done? Are we done with this, or do you want me to keep going? Because
shit.
And they're like, how did you literally teleport like that? And it's like, well, that's one of his abilities. The Supreme Kai being a narrator for this, he's Mimir. If you ever play God of War, watch me play God of War. The Supreme Kai being Mimir and this whole thing, I love it. He's a very wise person that they use just to narrate, basically. That's why he's there. Because it's like, why is the Supreme Kai randomly with Goku in this situation? He literally knows so much information. He just reminds me of a Mimir character, which I'm learning about what makes good writing. And I've been watching a lot of video essays and a lot of stuff, like just consuming a lot more different kinds of media that I also want to get involved in myself and on the channel. But one of the things that they were talking about is like in God of War, how great of a character Mimir is, because there's no real way to accomplish what Mimir does in any other way, honestly. Like having an actual person that knows basically everything and they're always with you. Right. So Zelda does this with Navi and things like that. Like they have fairies that fulfill this type of role. And there's other characters similar, but like Navi is a great example of this. Like you need someone around. This is like every great game, every great anime will find a way. Hunter x Hunter literally has a narrator. Like, yeah. And it works. It actually works. And then in this, the Supreme Kai, a lot of the questions or a lot of the things that people don't know, he literally just fills in. So when people are like, how is Goku doing that? He's like, he's amazing, isn't he? It's because he learned how to do this thing called instant transmission. Or Goku is a Saiyan. They actually came after all the demons and everything like that were created by the great Majin Rimus or whatever. The Saiyans and the Earthlings come after that. So he's like filling in all of this shit because he just happens to be there around the main character at all times. It's brilliant, like the way he just comments on everything.
Yeah, he knows all the information. He's able to explain it. And it feels natural because he's teaching these demons, who obviously the demons know a lot, but they don't really know that much, especially most of the demons, because they're not really allowed to go in between the realms anymore.
Yep.
So the demons that are still in the demon realm, I don't think really any of them, except maybe 1%, less than 1% of them, have been back and forth between the realms. So they don't know about the outside world. So the Supreme Kai is able to fill in details for them. And it feels natural because they don't know anything about the Saiyans. They don't know anything about the outside world. They don't know anything about Goku. So he's able to fill that information in. It feels natural, which is really nice because there's the instance of bad writing where you'll have something where you'll have two characters that obviously know, like characters that know a lot and all. And so when they ask questions about the world, it feels weird because you're like, wait a minute, like, aren't you already like a level 50 wizard? Like, how don't you know this basic information? And it's because they're trying to explain the information to us so that we know it, but it feels weird when like these level 50 fucking wizards are asking about simple things. And it's like, it feels like super out of place. And it feels like, it feels like you're literally just finding an excuse to tell us what the information is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just straight up shoehorning it.
Another great example, FF10, Titus not knowing anything about Spira, him like coming to Spira and them thinking he just has amnesia, he got too close to sin, whatever. And so the citizens of Spira filling in information for Titus makes it so that we naturally learn information about the world and it doesn't feel weird or forced because you don't have to ask yourself, why doesn't this 22-year-old man know this about the world he lives in? You know he doesn't know it because he's not from this world. So it feels natural and it all fits in quite nicely.
Yeah, he's literally, I've realized, and I've been noticing that a lot of the greatest things that I've played just have these ways to fill in lore and fill in the world, make it feel robust and not just hollow. Some worlds, some anime, some games, they can just feel really hollow if there's not much being explained. Sometimes that can be okay for a little while because for a little while it's mystery, right? You could do it under the guise of, they're not explaining things, it's under the guise of mystery. Mystery only can last for so long before it starts to feel bad, though, right? Yep. It's like, okay, that's cool. So we don't have a real explanation for this yet, but that's part of what makes me like it for however long I'm going to like it until it's like, now things are happening. You're not explaining things. And it's starting to get a little bad now. Like it's starting to get to the point where it's kind of bad. And I need you to explain. But when you have a narrator, when you have Final Fantasy X literally has Auron and Tidus who are just constantly, like Tidus literally narrates. Like he's narrating, he's like, they say I shouldn't bring this up because I got too close to sin. But in reality, it's all I know. Like I'm really from Xanarkand 1,000 years ago, but I kept it to myself that day. And that was the day when I met her. And it's like, you see Yuna or something. Like just, it's so fucking cool. Just like these things, the way narration happens, when Mimir tells you about his great sins and the things, like he knows who Kratos really is. He knows a lot of things that Kratos has done. He knows he's a very violent man. And then Supreme Kai knows that Goku is actually the strongest thing outside of literally the gods of destruction and the angels.
Yep.
He's like, this is literally the most powerful being in existence outside of the people who are literally above him. So like the Supreme Kai, what I love is that no matter what situation Goku's in, he is never worried about Goku.
No, because he knows Goku's that guy. Like he knows nothing's happening. Like when they fought, once again, the Tamagamis, it's crazy. They've never, ever, ever been defeated in history. Yeah. Like in the entirety of history, period. Goku beat number 3. Now I assume 2 and 1 are stronger.
That's what I assume too.
It goes like that. I don't know for sure, but
only because of the interaction with number 1 versus the Majin Ku. Yeah, Majin Ku. I do think that 1 is a bit stronger than 3, and then we could probably infer that 2 is also stronger than 3.
Yeah, but when Goku fought 3, once again, like he went Super Saiyan, but I'm gonna be honest with everybody listening, and y'all might say that I'm pipe riding Goku. I don't think Goku even needed to go Super Saiyan.
Neither.
I think he just went Super Saiyan because like he was having fun and wanted to do it, and he likes showing off. He still has a little bit of that arrogance. He's still a Saiyan. He likes showing off, just like what he did.
I think it's a little bit. I think Goku.
Yeah.
He's
I know.
Not.
Listen, I know.
Because he's not as overt as Vegeta. Vegeta got called arrogant literally by the pilot. He's like, "You're really arrogant. You're not even a king," which is really funny because like, As soon as he said that, I was like, he literally is a king though. Like it's so funny that I was like, Vegeta literally is an actual king. Like his dad died, which he becomes the king. So I thought that was really funny that he got kind of like sunned by the pilot, who obviously the pilot could not even slightly deal with Vegeta if he actually, decided to attack him or anything. But besides the point, I really, really just like how Goku's arrogance comes out in a different way.
Yeah.
Like when, like you said, Giorgio challenged him, like, do you really think you're that much stronger than me? And Goku's like, well, yes. That is a moment of him showing like, okay, I may pretend to be humble and like a little aloof, and I'm always hungry and farting everywhere, but don't get this fucked up. I am stronger than everyone here, and I haven't even felt an energy anywhere close that makes me feel otherwise. Like no one has done anything with their ki to make me feel like I might need to be an adult to beat them. So far, this body is perfectly fine. This is, I'm actually so happy that I got turned into a kid and I'm weaker, because now I can fight you guys and it won't feel like, damn, you're actually kind of weak.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this so much more. So yeah, he likes going Super Saiyan just to show off.
Yep, it's very
so people can be like, oh shit. Like he just shows off, but he most of the times does not need to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
like, he just likes to show off.
The first time he was Super Saiyan in these 10 episodes, he did not need to go Super Saiyan.
He did it against the fucking grunts.
That's what I'm saying. Like
he just like went Super Saiyan to fuck on them. Like they didn't need that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is so overkill. It was so overkill when he went Super Saiyan against them. But it just kind of was like a show.
And he was like, oh, y'all think? Okay, let me just show you real
quick. Yeah.
Let me
just a show of force.
But yeah, he was rumbling. So Goku in a kid body that he's not fully used to yet, in a weird atmosphere that had like slows you down or whatever.
Yep.
And all of that bullshit, he beat this thing that was literally never defeated ever in history. Like
thousands and thousands of years.
Millions.
Yeah,
right?
Potentially,
like, I mean,
if they go by the same,
I guess we don't know for sure.
Yeah, if we go by the same metrics that our verse, the only reason I don't know if it's millions, and it could be, the only reason is because they blatantly said that the Glens were born. They're born every couple centuries, so that's like obviously a couple centuries is hundreds of years. So then you get to like thousands of years. But I don't know if anyone's used like a millennia as a term yet.
True.
But whatever, it's still ridiculous. If it's thousands of years, bro, that's still insane.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how you slice it, they've never been defeated. And again, these are the first Dragon Balls. So if anything, they've had the longest chance to actually be defeated because they've always been a thing. Like the Tamagamis have always been a thing as far as I understand. And they've never been beaten. No one. Like Deborah, no one. Like none of the Majin things that were made, nothing. Like nothing beat them ever. Okay.
Nothing.
It's kind of insane.
And nobody wanted to smoke.
Yeah,
nobody wanted to smoke.
Zero diffed the first one. And I genuinely thought, because we knew from episode 1, we watched episode 1 like over a year ago. Yeah. And I remember when they first started talking about when the old Namekian, Neva, first started talking about the Tamagamis in episode 1 and stuff, it was just like they were super powerful, revered things. And they kind of show them in shadow, and then they kind of show them. And they make them out to be these. And I was like, oh, they're probably going to be something like almost endgame level, like really outrageously powerful. Kind of how when I was younger, I remember when Cell, like the very first Cell, the really insectoid looking one, I was like, how strong is he going to be from just absorbing androids? I don't feel like he should be strong enough to fight certain characters from just absorbing androids. It just didn't make sense to me. But then that's just the way it is. Like he absorbed the androids and he becomes strong enough to where Vegeta Super Saiyan 1.5 is not enough to beat him anymore. You can't even touch him anymore. You can't catch him anymore. And it's all because he just absorbed one. Like his second form, I hated with the big pink lips. And then when he gets the third form, I was like, how much more powerful could absorbing Android 18 be? How much more powerful could that make him? But it made him so much more powerful. And I'm saying all this to say, the Tamagamis, because of my experience with Dragon Ball, I was like, well, they probably are just as powerful as they're making them out to be, because that's how Cell worked to me. Cell, they were like, if he absorbs 2 androids, he is going to be otherworldly strong. Like, I'm letting you know, it's going to be a really big problem. I'm from the future. I'm telling you, if that motherfucker gets both those androids, it's over.
It's a fucking wrap. Yeah. So it's interesting because I thought the same thing as you. What might end up happening, we still have 10 episodes left. I don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We know Majin Buu fought one and he lost.
Yeah.
Majin Buu apparently, I don't know fully how strong he is. He's apparently super fucking strong, but then at the same time, he's like really goofy.
Yep. I like how goofy he is too.
I do. I love all of Daima. Daima is so goofy.
Amazing though.
It's so, I like Goku. I watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z, okay? Goku's taking more shits than Daima. Every other episode, the one episode, he's like, hey, do you guys have anything to eat and a bathroom? Like, he's like, I want to go rumble, but I got to take a shit first.
Yeah, he literally says that.
I'm like, what is happening right now? He's like, Pansy, do you have the TP? Like, he's going.
She throws it at his head. Then he comes back and she's like, yo, we have more pressing things to worry about. And he's like what? And she's like washing your hands. He's like, why would I do that?
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? And then she tells him to take a shower, and he's like, I don't have any other clothes. And she's like, you can just wear some of mine. He's like, I don't really want to wear panties.
Yes.
She's like, I'm not fucking talking about that.
He's so good. What's also funny to me, they confirm in episode 2 that, okay, we are in childlike bodies, but we are completely still ourselves on the inside. Like, it's not like they forgot what happened the last 50 years of their lives or whatever. Like, they are completely still there. So what's funny to me is watching Goku go through all of this. I'm like, this is actually adult Goku, though.
Yeah.
This is not Goku whose mind has been turned into a child's mind. This is actually how adult Goku would behave, technically.
That brings me to my favorite part of the entire 10-episode run.
Oh, God.
Okay, it's a 2-parter. This is a 2-parter.
Okay.
So first, there's when they make it to the Demon King of the Third World's castle, and you find out Pansy's the princess, and they go and talk to the king. And they're having this back and forth, and the king's like, first of all, he's looking at them, he's like, they're children. Like, there's no fucking way they're going to be able to get the Dragon Balls to be the Tamagami. And Goku's like, no, like, I'm fine. Like, I can do it. And then he's like, well, if you really can do it, like, I'll give you my daughter's hand in marriage. And then she gets all mad, like, you can't offer my hand in marriage. And then he goes, well, I have a wife and kids. Like, I have a wife and 2 kids. Like, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You have a wife and 2 kids. And they find out Goku's really an adult, etc. Right? So then on the part 2 of my actual favorite part.
I wrote this down too. I know exactly. I wrote down a fucking yo, bro. Pansy says, how to die like you.
There's a part where they're on the plane and Goku's just acting like an immature piece of shit.
Yes.
And then she's like, there's no way you're really an adult. Like, how'd a guy like you like raise 2 kids? And then Goku goes, well, I wasn't really around for most. Like, I wasn't really part of it. Like, Goku's like, I mean, I wasn't really part of it. Like,
he literally says, I wasn't really involved. Like, verbatim.
I wasn't really involved.
And it cuts the scene, and I literally paused it and wrote, a fucking yo. I literally have a bullet point that says, a fucking yo. Pansy says, how'd a guy like you ever raise a kid? And Goku says, I wasn't really involved. I could not fucking believe that. That was for us, Kenny. That was for us.
Bro, I was crying. I was laughing so fucking hard.
The self-awareness.
Because I wasn't really involved.
We have been making that joke since we were literally children.
Yeah.
I'm talking about every person I know who was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 watching Dragon Ball Z, all the variations, GT, whatever Dragon Ball. Everyone has always said Goku did not raise Gohan and that Piccolo was the real dad. That's all. And I'm talking about it. Like, we're from Philly, New Yorkers, people from Chicago, people from Cali, people from Detroit. Everybody who's ever watched Dragon Ball as a kid growing up on Toonami always made jokes about how Goku did not raise his child. And that was like a big thing. And then he ends up having a second child and also doesn't raise that one either. And it's a really big part of Goku's character and his lore and everything. For them to literally address that as a joke, because Daima is all about jokes. And it's actually funny. It really has the heart of Dragon Ball, the original series, built into this. Like, I really feel it because I've been watching Dragon Ball, obviously, last year. So I got to feel how different Dragon Ball is from Dragon Ball Z. Very different tone. this is clearly the equivalent of doing Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is honestly, everyone, when it first came out and everyone went to go see it, The Force Awakens being like one of the top 5 selling movies of all time. The Force Awakens is literally a 1-to-1 of A New Hope. It's Star Wars A New Hope, and they literally just remake it and modernize it. But everything that happens, like almost scene by scene, people are like, yo, you can literally compare what happens in A New Hope. I'm not going to get into this because I know Star Wars is not big on this channel, but like literally the two movies are comparable. I feel like Daima and Dragon Ball are very comparable with the act, like you said, Goma and Emperor Pilaf, right? Like there's there's similar things about them. They literally use the Dragon Balls for nonsense, like things like that. Just it's actually so well written, but updated and modernized and animated better, and just addressing things that we've always kind of wondered about. Like how does Goku feel about being an absent father? And like clearly he doesn't.
He doesn't really care. He's like, I wasn't really there. Yeah. I don't know.
He doesn't say it in a way like, oh, I'm guilty or I'm sad about this. He just says it like nonchalant.
Yeah. But what's cool too, and this is why something I love about Goku's character, right, is because something that is made clear very early on is that Goku's like pure of heart.
Yes.
He really is, even as an adult, like he really is still like a child in a lot of ways. And he's a pure person. So like, for example, like when blah, blah, blah happened, he was like, oh, I have a wife and 2 kids. Like he has a wife and 2 kids, and he very clearly cares about them and loves them and all of that stuff. But at the same time, it's not like he doesn't think about it the way like we think about it, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't need to be there, and like, I don't know. It's just different. Yeah. Because he was there, like he raised Gohan in terms of like he trained them. Yeah. Because, you know, before at the start of Dragon Ball Z, when he shows up at Master Roshi's house, they have a reunion. They haven't seen each other for like 5 years. And then he shows up with Gohan. None of his friends know that he had a kid. And then, like, obviously, he spent those 4 years with Gohan, etc. And then he dies. And then Piccolo raised blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then, like, the Cell stuff happens, whatever. But so Goku's not really involved. And, like, Chi-Chi did a lot of the raising and forming him as a person. Yep. Whereas for Goku, and also, you think about it, Goku wasn't raised either. He had his grandpa Gohan, but then he died. And then he taught him stuff. For Goku, like, spending time with his kids is like training. Like, hey, let's fight. You know what I mean? Let's fight. But, like, in terms of raising them and stuff, like, yeah, like to him that stuff's not super important. Like it's not. I don't know.
He's just different. He's just different. It's and it could also be a Saiyan thing because we don't have as great of an insight on the Saiyan way. Then that's a series that they could actually do at some point, like another Dragon Ball series where we get to see we have a Bardock movie and stuff like that, the legendary Super Saiyan and all that, but like do a real deep dive into the way Saiyan culture is.
That would be cool.
We know that they're violent. We know that, right? Like everyone talks about how violent the Saiyans are and all of that stuff. I want to see it though. I want to see how they treat their children, their infants, they're young, right? Like Broly and Goku were in the same incubator next to each other. Now, obviously, this is not like necessarily canon or whatever, but in the movies, Goku cried a lot. Broly hated it.
Yeah.
You know.
By the way, thank God for the new Broly movie. That fixes the new Broly movie is so much better in terms of like the lore and the story.
Oh, this is a good example. Though. I'm glad you brought that up because that canon, right? His dad treated him bad.
Yeah.
His dad treated him bad. And this is kind of going to what I'm saying. I wonder if, and we can kind of infer already based on you bringing up the real Broly movie, the most recent one, and just like things that we've seen throughout all of Dragon Ball has so many episodes in manga by now, we can kind of infer that the Saiyans do not treat their children like Earthlings treat their children. Mm-hmm. It's not the same thing. It's like boys, especially especially a father and son relationship is very different from the way a father and son Earthling relationship would be. Like you're looked at kind of like a Spartan, and maybe that's how the Saiyans are modeled after Spartans. I mean, the names are similar, and like the way they're treated might be very similar. Where you don't get coddled, you don't get treated like a baby, you get fucking trained and you get roughed up and taught to be a warrior at a very young age, and that is the extent of us hanging out together.
I think a great insight into Goku and Piccolo's character is in the Cell games when Goku fucking gives Cell a senzu bean and Gohan's fighting Cell and Goku has full faith in Gohan, etc. Because Goku knows Gohan is stronger.
Yeah.
But what Goku doesn't understand, even to this point, is that Gohan is not Goku. And I love when Gohan's getting his ass kicked by Cell and Goku's like kind of confused.
Yep.
And Piccolo's like, genuinely, what don't you want? Like, he's not you. Like, he doesn't love this the way you love this. Like, he is not in it like you. Like, I know I know Gohan's stronger. You know it. I know it. We know Gohan's stronger. We've seen what Gohan can do. But at this point in time, Gohan is 12 years old. And like, yeah, he may be stronger, but he hasn't lived the life you lived. He had a fucking loving mom, and he lived a different life, and he doesn't love fucking beating the shit out of people and getting his ass whooped the way you love it. And you putting this on him, like, it shows that you don't understand your son. It's such an awesome moment in the Cell games. I really, really like it. But it gives more insight into kind of Goku's mindset and what he expects from. And once again, he wasn't raised like a Saiyan, but his natural inclination of who he is, what he expects from himself and what he expects from his kid. Like, he's like, wait, why wouldn't he love doing? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Gohan is a hybrid. He's literally half human. There's a part of him, of his identity, that Goku literally cannot relate to. Like, Goku may cosplay as a human sometimes, but he is not human. No. Like, it's kind of like the Clark Kent Superman thing, right? Yeah. When he's Clark Kent, that is his mask. Like, Clark Kent is the mask that he puts on to fit in with us. Goku sometimes cosplays as a human, but he is full Saiyan. He's 100% Saiyan. Both his parents are Saiyan. Gohan is not the same. There's half of him, literally 50% of him, that is human, and that clearly has impacted the way, you know, amongst other things, like he's raised by a mom that actually does coddle him, because that's what Earthlings do with their children. Yeah. That's what a human mother would do.
Think about Chi-Chi too. Like, for a character that doesn't get a lot of screen time, she is interestingly so well written in that Chi-Chi is a country bumpkin. Something that might not be completely clear to like English fans is the way Goku and Chi-Chi speak in Japanese. They speak with a country dialect. They're very country. They say words in like a country way. So the way you think of an Americans as country, like that's how Goku and Chi-Chi speak. They're country. So the way Chi-Chi speaks is really country. And so, but she spends her she spends her motherhood doing everything she can to give her son a better life, making sure he's reading books and studying and becoming smarter and getting into good college schools and colleges.
Doing chores.
She takes like this like country lifestyle that she has, and then she gives everything as a mom to make Gohan be like this super smart, well-educated, well-spoken man. And I think it's really cool, just like with a little bit of screen time that you have from Chi-Chi throughout the entire series, that mother, like all that motherly stuff that she kind of does, and all the sacrifices she makes. Whereas I think most people think of her as just being like annoying. She won't let Gohan train. But there's actually like a bit more depth to her character than that.
That was me when I was younger.
Where she comes from.
Because all I wanted was Gohan to train and get stronger, and I only cared about the fighting and that part of it. But now that I'm older, I totally get it, right? I'm in a completely different mental space than I was 20 years ago. And so, yeah, it is interesting thinking about her character. If I were to rewatch Dragon Ball now, or rewatch Dragon Ball Z now, I would see her from a different light, as I did see her as a nuisance when I was a kid. I genuinely remember feeling this day. And also, I didn't watch Dragon Ball, so I never got to see her origin. She was just always Gohan's mom and Goku's wife to me. She was never anything before that. So, now that I watch Dragon Ball, I see like, oh, I see her father, I see her upbringing, I see like a lot more facets of her. And then leading up to Dragon Ball Z and her love for Goku and stuff like that is just very different. Yeah, that's a good point though. Like, the entire way Saiyans are is very different, but that is definitely the fucking yo moment of the entire 10 episodes we've seen so far.
That's
probably
my favorite moment. I laughed so when he said I wasn't really involved. I'm so happy that you knew where I was going, and you wrote like, I'm so happy. I'm so fucking happy.
The second you brought it up,
bro, I laughed so fucking hard when he was like, I wasn't really involved. Then the other moment that I thought was super hilarious was when Vegeta, Bulma, Piccolo, and I forget the guy's name, but the goofy ass demon are in the spaceship.
Oh yeah,
and they're talking, and then Bulma is like, she's loving the fact that she's young again. She's vain. Her skin looks great. You know what I mean? Because she was like in her 40s or whatever. Her skin looks great. Like, she's young. She's loving it. And then she's like, yo, we should just stay like this age. Like, just grow up. Like, we should. And Vegeta's like, absolutely not. Right. Like, we are not like doing this, whatever. And then the other guy's like, well, hey, like, Bulma, you can be my girlfriend. And Vegeta's like, yo, that's my fucking wife. Right. The guy goes, I mean, I don't mind sharing. Like, I'm good with sharing. Vegeta starts snapping.
Bulma's
absolutely not.
Bulma's like, well, maybe you can just transform back to being an adult by yourself. And he's like, no, bitch, we're both transforming together. And then the little demon dude goes, you know what it is? You just like big boobs. And like, Vegeta's face turns red, and it's such an awkward moment. And I think, is Piccolo in the ship with them at the time?
Piccolo goes, oh shit, he hit the nail on the head.
He hit the nail. Yeah, like, Bro, literally just call Vegeta. Like, I think you actually like big boobs. But I also thought it was funny because they're currently in child bodies, but they are adults mentally. Like, they still are themselves. So, however long they've lived, Chi-Chi, if she's 50 or whatever, she's still 50 mentally, but they are in children's bodies. If he were to age up alone and leave her as a child, obviously it's awkward. That's my wife, but I literally cannot have sex with her anymore. Like, so it's just like, it becomes a very weird dynamic where somehow my wife is now a child all of a sudden, even though she is fully herself in there, like mentally, but her body isn't. And like, I'm not doing that. He's like, we're aging back together. He makes that very clear. He says, we're going back together. Like,
Vegeta's like, I'm not playing this anime bullshit. I know anime has a bad rap, and y'all talk some shit about anime and lolly. He said, Vegeta's like, I'm not on that.
I love it. I love how stern he was. He said, we're turning back together. So that shit was so funny. What I also think is funny about this, or not funny necessarily, but I do think that the writers are aware that people who grew up watching Dragon Ball, any series of it, have gotten older. And some of the jokes seem to be written that way. For example, one of the main tropes is that they're all kids now, and Bulma is obsessed with being younger. And we're older now, and I am often, analyzing my hair is graying, my skin is sagging more, I'm getting wrinkles, like just things that are happening over time as I'm getting older. Like, I'm eventually going to be an old man, and I'm closer than I was when I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was 12, 13, 14, whatever. So like, her constantly grabbing at her skin and saying it's so soft and stuff, I actually relate to her being happy 100%. About being, I would love to be 15 again right now. Outside of being broke, like if I could somehow maintain my job and maintain my like current financial status, stuff like that, I would love to be 15 again, bro.
It'd be unfair. It'd be so unfair because you didn't appreciate it when you were 15.
I did not. Not even a little bit, bro.
But if you could have a 30-year-old brain and be 15, bro, you'd be so broken. Like, so broken.
Just
like,
adding so many years onto my life, potentially, and then also actually being physically young. Like, I still, knock on wood, I still don't have any aches and pains every day. I know some people get to a certain age and they're like, oh, like my knees start hurting or my back starts hurting. Because I don't do physical labor at all, really. I go to the gym a lot, but outside of specifically going to the gym, I don't really do anything that like would injure me. I've never been injured either, by the way. Like, I've never played sports, so I never had a broken anything. Like, nothing on my body. I've never had a broken anything before. I don't even know what it feels like. I don't know what it's like to go to the hospital and have something re-broken or whatever they do to it. I've never been fractured. I've never been injured really in any meaningful way throughout my life. I've been sick because I have asthma and like I've been food poisoned and all that other shit, but I've never been physically.
I have.
Yeah, well, I know you've been hit by cars and all types of shit throughout your life.
I've been fucked up.
And you're way more physical when you were younger than I was. So, because I had asthma, I just couldn't.
I shattered my knee. I fucking broke my ankle. I broke my wrist. I got fucked up.
See, like none of this for me. So I lived a completely different lifestyle where I don't even know what it's like to get to an age where your body starts to really fuck up. But eventually that's going to happen. Eventually there's going to be a point in time where like I notice that going up and downstairs is more effort than it used to be, or I'm getting winded from things that normally wouldn't, or it's harder for me to just do any kind of physical activity. And maybe this won't happen for another 20 years or so because I try to take good care of myself. But at the end of the day, youth is something that is fleeting. And I am watching Bulma be obsessed with herself over being young again. And I'm like, damn. Now, granted, Bulma is older than me in her actual, like before they return the children. Bulma is in her 50s in the show. So she's young. I mean, she's old. And now she's young. So I get it. From her perspective, it's even more drastic than me. Like, I want to be 15, and right now I'm in my 30s. But imagine
she went from being 50 to being a first grader. Because that's what the guy in episode 1, he was like, make them young. And Shenron was like, well, you got to be more specific. He was like, I don't know, make them first graders. So, like, insane.
Yeah, that's actually so absurd. Because, I mean, what? 5th grade? Did you say 5th grader or first grader?
No, I think he said first.
First grader is wild because first grader is literally 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally 5 or 6 years old. Like, that is absurd to me. But you know what? I'm glad we're on this topic too. I wrote down one of my first bullet points because episode 2 starts off with seeing the characters actually in their young forms. I love young Hercule, Piccolo.
Yo, young Hercule's kind of gangster, yo.
He's handsome. He's like, he has a full head of hair, right? Like, he's so cool. He's a little brown man. He's just so.
And he got the cape on and shit. With the cape does wonders, bro. Especially with like him being younger. For some reason, he actually looks really fucking cool. Young with the cape and like his fit that he's got on.
I think Chibi Hercule is so cool looking. He's the first character I wrote down, but then I also wrote down Piccolo and Master Roshi also look extremely cool to me. Like something about the chibi art of Vegeta, Master Roshi, Hercule, and Piccolo, love it. Like I absolutely love it.
Speaking of shade and jokes, they all get turned into kids again, and they're all worried. And Krillin's like, "Oh my god, like it's not just like we're all short." And Bulma's like, "Well, relax. Like you've always been short. Like what the fuck?"
For no reason. I started laughing before you even said it.
For no reason.
I knew where you were going. Oh, that shit is so funny. Just like the digs. This is such a lighthearted show, and it's really well done. Like it still has the essence of Dragon Ball, but it's so funny and the jokes are well written, and some of them you do kind of have to know a little bit of like overall Dragon Ball stuff to get it. Like the Goku joke about how I wasn't really involved. That was for us. I literally say that was for us. That was people who grew up on Dragon Ball. Like that wouldn't apply to someone who only watched Super.
Yeah, something I was expecting. It didn't happen, but something I was expecting the first time he went behind the bush and went poop, and then like the cops showed up, I thought was going to happen because something that some people may or may not know, but like an iconic thing in Akira Toriyama's works is he likes drawing poop, but it's always like pink. Like it almost looks like fun. Like the poop looks like tasty. Like it's like this pink swirl, and that's how like poop is normally drawn in Akira Toriyama's works. Is it's pink and it looks like fun or whatever. So what I thought was going to happen is when Goku went poop, I thought something was going to happen, and then the cops were going to walk, and I essentially thought they were going to step in it. Like I thought something was going to happen. They were going to step in Goku's poop, and you'd see like the little pink poop, and it would get stuck on their foot, and they'd get angry, and that would start like the problem. That's not where, but like in my head, if we paused it, I would have fully been convinced that's where it was going to go. It didn't go there, and I'm kind of shocked that with the amount of times Goku's gone poop so far, we haven't seen the poop, just because I know, years ago how much Akira Toriyama enjoyed drawing like the poop the way he drew it, and like inserting weird like poop jokes and like different ways.
A lot of blue humor, a lot of toilet humor, stuff like that is definitely a big part of it. I mean Goku eats a lot, he's farting, he's shitting all the time, he's just like eat, fight, poop all the time. And I keep thinking to myself, this is not a child though. Like this is fully an adult man who's like, I don't wash my hands, I don't shower all the time, all I think about is eating, pooping, and fighting. And that's like literally his life. His life is very simplistic. It's just interesting to think like, holy shit, this is literally the adult Goku though. Like,
oh, you know what? It popped back in my head, so I just want to bring it up now because I'll forget it. Because I meant to say it 45 minutes ago. But when you and me were talking about, we thought the Tamagamis were end game. I think where they're going now is I assume they're not going to be end game unless one is like really that guy.
Yep.
I think they're not going to be end game. I assume they're going to beat them. And then as we can see, there's a plot developing with Supreme Kai's older sister and Majin Buu and this girl. And then Georgina, whatever the fuck his name is. He is working for Supreme Kai's older sister. And so there's clearly something else happening there that she's having play out.
Right.
So some version of that will probably end up being the final boss, like something that she's doing, part of her plan.
I have some speculations as well. I think one of the obvious ones, because we kind of have seen this with Dragon Ball before, I think a Garlic Jr., for example. Goma is currently in a childlike state, and he looks like a kid, but everyone literally says Goma doesn't look like much, but he is extremely powerful. Even the witch doctor said it to Arin, who is his sister. She's like, he doesn't look like much, but he is extremely powerful. And clearly people tippy-toe around him, including his sister, because he's apparently just really strong. Now, when we see him, he's a little jester, really tiny, and does not
look... He's a goofball.
He doesn't look strong at all. Clearly he is, though, because Goku also, in theory, doesn't look strong at all. Goku's 6 years old, apparently. So he also doesn't look very strong, but he is. My theory is that when they go to wish back to be older, Goma's going to get wrapped up in that wish. And he's going to get aged up into an adult form, and he's going to look sickening. He's going to be tall. He's going to be slimmed out. He's going to have the same jester thing, but it's going to be how Akira Toriyama does things to make them look that adult, like how he does it. I always think about, what's the one, I forget his name, where the spirit sword was used to beat him, and he's like a demon, and he has a sword. He's pink and red. He's from the movie. They fused to beat him. Like it's like Goku Vegeta.
You're not talking about Janemba,
Janemba. You know how
you are talking about Janemba?
Janemba, you know how Janemba's design is like, he's clearly demon, like he has a tail, he has the horns, he looks like the devil, and he has a fucking sword, he looks cool as shit. Like he's one
of my favorite Dragon Ball Z characters, just off the way he looks. That's one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z movies.
Yep.
and Hitler's in that movie, by the way, if anybody didn't know. In that movie, everyone that is dead, everyone that is in hell comes back to Earth. So like Nappa's on Earth and a bunch of other random shit. So everybody in hell comes back to Earth, and there's a part where there's a bunch of tanks, and literally Hitler on one of the tanks, he has got the mustache and everything, and he's like Sig Heiling. He's like driving over the horizon or whatever, and then I think he gets blown up and killed again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hitler's randomly in that movie. But yeah, the Janemba movie is awesome, and Janemba looks super sick. His powers are sick. How he turns into those particles and like goes through dimensions and shit. Yep. But anyway, you were making a point.
Just the way Janemba is designed, I really think that Goma's design when he gets aged up. In my head, I do not see a world where Goma stays as that infant-looking small character. I think he is going to become a more powerful version of himself that just looks like a typical Dragon Ball like villain, and that's not a bad thing because Cell was one of my favorite designed villains of all anime. I just love Cell's design. Perfect Cell, I mean. I love Perfect Cell's design, and this is kind of what I mean. Like a lot of the early, look at Frieza. When we first see Frieza, little tiny dude, looks kind of like a girl actually, and just like this pink design and like the helmet with the horns. But then at the end game Frieza, like the final form of Frieza looks so fucking scary and cool to me.
Yeah, dude, the 3 major Dragon Ball villains are so iconic. Frieza, Cell, Buu, are insane when you look at their designs. Like they are such well-designed characters from an artistic standpoint, and I think they've just gone on to influence so much.
Yeah, I think Pokemon is influenced by them.
Yeah.
Like, I think literally the idea of evolving and becoming cooler and cooler looking is definitely something that I could see Akira Toriyama having inspired in the writer of Pokemon. Like, just evolving, because Dragon Ball characters technically evolve, and, like, the villains especially evolve. And I could totally see that being a thing where, like, you know, you have Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, like, you have all the versions of Frieza. Frieza, when he goes to power level 1 million, I thought that was going to be, like, his ultimate form because he becomes so big, and he looks like an adult now, finally. His voice changes, and he's, like, you know, putting his horns into people's chests and trying to kill them and all that stuff. And then he becomes the one that fights against Piccolo, and he does the little 2-finger thing against Piccolo. But I'm like, this version looks dumb. I don't think that this is his final version, and it wasn't. And then his actual final form looks nothing like any of the previous 3, honestly. But it looks terrifying. It looks alien. And more than anything, it looks cool. It looks really cool.
It's such an interesting design because he kept getting bigger and more monstrous. And when he turns in the final form Frieza, he gets smaller again and much clean and sleek. Yeah. To the point where, like, the characters were, like, confused. Yes. Like, is this really his final form? Like, we thought he was going to be this monster or whatever. And Akira Toriyama created this really intimidating presence in, like, smaller characters. Yep. And, like, these smaller builds, like, still an adult build, but, like, he didn't become a giant monster. Yeah. And
he didn't Final Fantasy.
It's really fucking cool. Yeah. He didn't turn in the fucking cloud of darkness and shit. But yeah, really, really cool. I could definitely see Goma getting bigger and having like a really cool, like clean design.
Because his design is already dope. He's a jester, wizard. Bro.
Yeah.
Like he has the jester, like the little, like a jester hat, but it's built into his body. I already think that you could do so much with that. Because I've played Devil May Cry 3, like a jester is a big part of that game as well. And I've seen like where you can go with a demonic jester character. I think that hopefully there's a form of him that everybody actually, this is the one that people are talking about when they say Goma is really the real deal.
Yeah, he's going to do something for sure.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. I'm so curious how strong Majin Ku is really going to be and like what his deal is going to be. Because he was made from literally a piece of Majin Buu.
Like
they took a piece of Majin Buu and then they did a bunch of other shit. What did you say? Cyberman? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? I thought it was. That's actually something I want to bring up. Maybe I misheard. Is that the seed they put in there? You said was a Cyberman?
That's what I thought. Remember, I watched episodes 8, 9, and 10 in Japanese. Their translation says Cyberman, I thought.
Oh, maybe it was a Cyberman. Maybe I got... So here's what I thought they said. And maybe I misheard. And then what I thought they said made so much fucking sense, though.
So I could have misread what I think. Go ahead. I want to hear because you said it makes sense.
But you saying Cyberman, I'm going to say my thing, but you saying Cyberman, because he kind of does look like a Cyberman when you look at him.
And it's green. Like, the shit that they dropped in there, the seed turned green, and Cybermen are from seeds, I think, too.
Yeah, so I was probably wrong, but here's what I thought they said. I thought they said Sensu Bean. And
100%
Sensu Beans we know from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
completely like they can fucking grow back limbs. They completely get all your strength back. But think about this. Think about how much sense it makes. Because I thought they said like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then like I sold them to people from like different dimensions and stuff. And that's like the sensu beans we get. Think about Majin Buu, though. The fact that he could regenerate from anything. Imagine if at the core of that was like the magic behind his sensu bean.
Right.
And the reason why Majin Buu was able to. Yeah, so I thought they said sensu bean, and then I see the magic there, like, oh my god, the fucking essence of a sensu bean was like part of Majin Buu's magic, and the fact that he had like this limitless stamina and kept regenerating and all this other shit. But I think I was incorrect.
The witch doctor in the translation I watched on the website, just from that website you gave me too, which is amazing. But the witch doctor said, also plant this not too deep, 5 centimeters. And she says, this is a Cyberman seed. And I said, oh shit, they're bringing a Cyberman back. And then when he hatches, first it sprouts into this gigantic amalgamation of green shit. It just like sprouts into the air really high. I thought the guy was going to be like extremely tall or something, but it sprouts into the air and it's like this giant thing of just green goo. And then eventually he comes out and he does look like a fusion between a Cyberman and like other Dragon Ball characters and villains.
Yeah, he has like the Majin pants on and stuff.
I thought you were going to say...
I wasn't even thinking Cyberman, because now that after you said that...
what they said in English.
I clearly... No, they probably said Cyberman. I probably just misheard.
Okay.
I probably just misheard, because now looking at him, like...
he's... Yeah. I thought that I misread, because I thought you were going to say another word. Well, you did. You said sensu. I thought you were going to say another word that starts with an S, and it was like close to Cybermen, but it was another species. But when you said sensu bean, I was like, oh yeah, that's 100%. I didn't read sensu bean I didn't accidentally change sensu bean to Cybermen. That did not happen. And if it did,
well, I did.
Then I do have deterioration somewhere else. It's not physical. It's just mental at that point.
Yeah. I misheard, but I created fucking lore in my head from that. I was like, oh my god, that's so sick.
Yeah. However, we could talk about this. There are other types of sensu beans in the demon realm.
Yeah, the bugs.
Yep. They have these bugs that are basically dead, and it kind of looks like a candy that I've actually seen before, like where people eat ants covered in chocolate or frozen in honey that's been crystallized and all that. I would never. I'm not into eating insects, honestly, except ones of the sea, shrimp, crabs, lobster.
Yep.
On land, not eating insects. I'm just not interested at all. It does not speak to me.
We have a different relationship with them, you know?
Yeah, like
different.
They are a sign of uncleanliness, and they could be the same thing in the ocean, but I will never know because I don't live there. So,
nope.
Yeah, but yeah, Goku, for a while, they don't eat them. They don't do anything with them, but he's given a bunch of like different kinds of sensu beans in the demon realm that are all insects. And if you eat them, they restore your stamina, and they're supposed to have all these other properties or whatnot. But by the time Goku goes to eat them, it's because he's just hungry. Like he's not out of energy.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually need to eat them for any real reason that you will eat a sensu bean for, but he's like, yo, I'm fucking hungry. You guys don't have any food. Does anyone want one before I go in? And they're like, no, we're good. We're going to try to avoid those. And he's like, all right, well, hopefully something happens. He pops one in, and he literally gets like when he activates his ability, when he activates his key, he powers up for a second. It looks like involuntarily, like it looks like it's just an effect that happens where it just you just see his energy turn white.
That shit just boosted on him. He was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that happens involuntarily, in my opinion. And then he goes, I feel really energetic. And also, I do feel a little bit more full. Like my stomach feels a little bit more full. So it did kind of do something. And I was like, I don't know if he's capping or if he's trying to convince himself, but I have no reason to think that Goku will lie. So he never brings up food again from that point anyway. Mm-hmm. So it kind of seems like it did actually do something to his stomach.
Yeah, I think so. Something else I just thought of, just because something I like is they brought back the Power Bowl, and something I think is cool. And I think this is the implied intention. When Goku first gets turned back into a kid, he's trying to get used to his body again, and he's like his limbs are shorter, etc. So he's fighting, and he's not quite used to his range and distance, and he's uncomfortable fighting in this smaller body. And then he has the thought to go get his power pole, which I think makes sense because as a kid, he fought with the power pole. So I think for him, it was like a comfort thing. Yeah. I'll go get this power pole. I'll feel more comfortable in this smaller body. I'll get used to using this, and it'll make me more comfortable with the body that I'm currently in and being able to fight with this power pole like when I was a kid, etc. That's what it seemed like to me, and I really liked that. And it was also just a fun little excuse to get the power pole back.
I liked him going to Corinne, and then him saying like, "Hey, it was atop this." Canopy or whatever. It's not there anymore. What did I do with it? It's like, oh wait, Roshi has it. And then he goes to Roshi's like, because he's having a hard time flying in episode 2. He's like, you can just use your flying Nimbus. And Goku's like, I'll be fine. And
yep.
He just falls out of the sky.
He goes there. We see Pimp and Roshi. He's like trying to get his pimp on. He's getting ready to go out and do
Love young Roshi, bro.
He's trying to go out and do what he can. And then
Did you
the fucking
notice?
power pole.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about the power pole first, and I want to talk about Roshi.
The power pole is being used to hang laundry.
Yep. The turtle notices it, and he's like, "Oh shit!" It almost looks like he's guilty of using it, like not using it for what it's supposed to be used for. Because when he notices that Goku came here for, he looks over and sees that it's hanging up t-shirts and drawers, and he's a little bit embarrassed, I want to say. But I do like the power pole being used now because Goku is so much stronger than ever needing to use something like that in terms of his adult form. And even his childlike form doesn't actually need it, but it is something that, like you said, it's kind of like a crutch. It's something that you're used to having. It's a comfort thing. So he got it back. But I really like, speaking of Roshi, the voice acting. Roshi is an old man when we first see him in Dragon Ball. And as somebody who just started watching Dragon Ball in the last 2 years or whatnot, he's always been old as far as we've been introduced to him. So seeing him young is cool. But I love the way the voice actor still talks like him, but younger.
Yeah.
Like I watched the first 7 episodes in English and hearing him kind of go, "Hey, Goku," like he still talks like that, but he's young. And there's at first I thought that was a symptom of him being old, that he talks like an older guy. But even the young Roshi voice, the voice is way younger, but it still has the essence and the cadence of how Roshi speaks. Like his way of speaking, his way of singing out words is still present. Yep. I love it.
I like that too. Yeah, the young versions of the characters, it's really fun. Like it's just like fun. I like it. I like seeing the characters in a different light, in a different way. It's just a silly, goofy thing, and it's fun. It's enjoyable.
I wonder how they did the voice acting for this. I wonder if there's any AI or any voice modulation being done. Like I can edit my voice right now in editing software to make me sound however I want to sound. I wonder if the voice actors themselves are literally either A, completely different people, B, they are tweaking their character voice, which to me, so much skill was required to do that.
I'm not sure.
Go ahead.
I think Sean Schimmel is definitely doing Goku's voice. And I think Chris Sabat does Shenron. He does Vegeta. He does Piccolo. I definitely heard Chris Sabat in Shenron. I'm pretty sure I still hear him in Vegeta. I'll say this, though. Young Piccolo sounds a lot different to me. And I wonder if it's still Chris Sabat doing another voice. And if he is, he's really fucking good.
Yep.
Because young Piccolo, the whole time I was listening to it, I was like, man, I don't really hear Chris Sabat right now. So I'd be curious to find out if Chris Sabat's doing young Piccolo. But yeah, for some of the voices, I think it's the same. For some, I think it's different. I do think Piccolo might be different, but I could be wrong.
I'm wondering.
Characters, I'm not sure.
And it could be a mixture of both. It could be, or a mixture of all three, because there's 3 things. It could be either completely different voice actors, and I'm speaking for both Japanese and English when I say this. But the English voice actor really impressed me with the Roshi thing because it sounds like how Roshi speaks, but just younger. And I just thought that is the first thing I was like, oh my God, that's actually so talented to be able to do that. But it's either completely different people, or B, the people are literally de-aging the voice themselves, which again, high level of skill, or there's some type of technology involved that is slightly changing the voices to make them sound younger. Either way, it could be a combination that some of the actors are changed out. Some of them are de-aging the voice because they're capable of doing it. Not everybody's capable of doing that. And then some of it is just like, okay, well, we're going to use AI for this, or we're going to use voice modulation software to do this. But I'm impressed either way is my point. I'm super impressed by it. The Goku Glorio thing, I wanted to go back to that real quick. So when they challenge each other, when really Glorio kind of gets Goku riled up, I just remembered, and I have this written down here as one of the last things that I want to talk about is, speaking of Goku's arrogance and just like his way of, him and Vegeta are very similar for as much as Goku appears to be a much more humble person. But at the end of the day, he started fighting Giorgio with his arm behind his back.
Yep.
And this is kind of going back to what I said an hour ago. Goku has a way of letting his showboating come out. And it's so interesting to me, like, because I like the way he does it. Like, it's not, in one way you can say, like, yes, he's absolutely showboating. He's being an asshole for sure. He's condescending, but it doesn't come off the same way as Vegeta is like overtly condescending.
Yep. No, you're 100% right. He's put the arm behind his back. The thing is, too, think about this. Goku very, very rarely is the first one to use energy attacks. Goku likes using martial arts and getting into the shit with you.
Yeah.
But, for example, when he fought number 3, he started using the blast, he goes, "Oh, we're doing that?"
Yeah, he literally says that.
And he goes, and Goku starts using blast. When he's fighting Gordita uses the purple lightning, and then after that is when Goku uses Kamehameha.
Yep.
When Goku fought Beerus, I'm pretty sure it was when Goku fought Beerus, they're fighting, and then at one point Beerus uses a bunch of beams, and then Goku says, like, an angry voice, like, "Oh, I didn't know we were using blast now."
Yeah.
And then he goes up and he starts doing his thing. So, like, Goku will purposefully not like go to the next level until you do. He's like, okay, fine. Like, I'll do this. And then it also reminds me of when he first fought Frieza, because Frieza was cocky as fuck too. And Frieza goes like, oh, I'll fight you with just my feet. Like, Frieza put both his arms behind his back.
That was so
He goes,
wild.
I'm not going to use my arms. And then
Frieza was outrageous.
Yeah, Frieza, and then they're fighting. And so now Goku, when he's because at this point in time, Frieza's stronger. Goku doesn't have Super Saiyan yet. Goku's whole purpose at this point is, I'm gonna get you to make you. You're going to use. Your arms.
Yeah.
And Goku's fighting him, and he's doing what he can, and like finally Frieza fucking socks him, and he goes, "Hey, use your arms, bro. I got you."
It's the Byakuya versus Renji thing, where Byakuya tells Renji, "You won't even get me to put one knee on the ground." And like, Renji goes Bankai, and Byakuya is like, there's no way you actually have a Bankai. Renji goes Bankai, and Byakuya is like, well, at the very least, your Bankai is weak as shit. But as it's like, literally, Byakuya is blocking it with his sword, like in Shikai mode, because, you know, he's ignorant like that. He's blocking the Bankai and Shikai, and the dragon is driving Byakuya through, like, those big pillars in Soul Society, doing all this damage to the environment. None to Byakuya, of course. But then it pile drives him into the ground. Like, the dragon is piling him into the ground, and at the end of when the dust settles, Byakuya has one knee on the ground. And he, like, stands up, and Renji's like, see, I told you. Like, I'll get you to have one knee. Like, I will at least be able to get you to have that one knee. I might not be able to beat you, but I can make that fucking one knee touch the ground. And then Byakuya wipes off the dust, and he's like, okay, let me show you then. Bankai. And he activates what he calls a real Bankai, and the fucking swords come up, and Renji's standing there looking around with his Bankai, and nothing is happening at first. And then just blood, just fucking blood. And then the actual Bankai itself gets like all destroyed and shit by the rose petals. Or the cherry blossoms. It is so cool. Like that moment. But yeah, when you brought up Frieza doing the whole, I'm not even going to fight you with my hands thing, it gave me Byakuya Renji vibes. That is such an iconic thing to do in anime.
But yeah, so Goku, like he's with the shit, and he's cocky as well.
He likes a challenge.
He likes a challenge. He tries to wait to escalate the fight until you escalate it. So yeah, he definitely, like, Glorio thought, like, it's so funny to me that he was like, yo, what makes you think you're so much stronger than me? It's like, bro,
like,
once again, you came to find me. I didn't know you existed. All right, you knew about me. I didn't know about you.
One of the things I wrote down, or I actually said this to you a couple days ago or yesterday or whatever, I was like, Goku legit has the voice of all things. Because throughout the Daima series, they make it very apparent that Goku can sense things that are not normal for people to be able to sense. It is like throwing a lot of people off that he can do these weird things, but he knows certain people are around. He knows how powerful someone is or how weak. And he can just like tell, for example, somebody said, how did you know that attack was coming? And he said, I didn't see it. I sensed it.
Yep.
Like he can just literally sense energy in like everything, and I think that is such a cool thing. This kind of goes back to my point about in the very beginning. I think Goku just factually would have Haki if he were fighting in the One Piece verse. I think he would just have, first of all, he would obviously have Conqueror's Haki. He would have Haki perception, like the same thing that Katakuri has. He would have that, but like way more ridiculous, obviously. Just all the things, like there's no adamant Haki, like armament Haki. I mean, he would have armament Haki, like all the things that they have, he would just have the exact same thing. He's also a very fast learner. So like even in Daima, when at first he can't really fly anymore, and then I think, who is it who says like, why don't you just do it? I think Piccolo is like taunting him, like, why don't you just fly? Like, stop being ridiculous. And he's like, go ahead, try it. And then Piccolo tries it and crashes into a tree and gets fucked up. And then later on, when they're in the demon realm, the third demon realm, Goku and everybody else is talking about how it feels like walking through a swamp. It feels really heavy. The gravity's really dense. The air is dense. There's like this fog stuff that's coming out of these floating volcanoes that makes it just like hard to fly around, and you'll lose all your stamina really quick if you do it. But by the time they reach the third Tamagami, Goku starts fighting, and the Supreme Kai comments about how well he's already acclimated to the environment, because he's fighting with no restrictions. He's fighting with no like, oh, I'm worried about stamina, I'm worried about flying. He's flying around because the thing starts shooting blast.
He's doing whatever he wants.
He's doing whatever he wants. He's doing it like he's always lived here. Like this is his environment. Like he's a native.
Yep. Yeah, he is. That's the thing. Like, people love to put doubt on my boy's name, but he is not only one of the greatest fighters, like in terms of just fighting, he's one of the greatest fighters. He's one of the best learners, and that he loves to do both of those things. So if you are stronger than him, you better hope you kill him, because it won't be for long. Because he's gonna fucking learn, and he's gonna find a way to like break that. That's the thing. Like, he's always like, he's the original solo leveler. All right, like he fucking goes nuts.
So,
but yeah.
There's only a couple more things I have written down here. One of the things that we find out, and I love the way they sequence this, so I'll actually start from the beginning. When they approach one of these like little demon villages, there are a bunch of assholes who are basically in charge, and they are taxing the people gold. And if you don't pay up a certain amount of gold, you have to give up actual years of your life, and they have this machine that sucks literal years out of your life, specifically 9 years. So you have to pay, like, let's say, I don't know the amount of gold, but let's say it's like 3 gold coins.
It was the tax was 3 gold. I think previously it was 1 gold, and then when Goma took over, it became 3 gold. And then the punishment for not having gold, every piece of gold you're missing is 3 years.
Yep.
So if you have 2 gold and you owe 1 gold, then you owe 3 years of life. So if you don't have any gold, you owe 9 years of life, because 3 times 3.
Yep. So they're being taxed, and it's really harsh. We've seen this type of trope done in multiple facets of just fantasy stuff. Like, this is a common thing, just being taxed, and if you can't pay it, you suffer a punishment. But this is happening, and I'm like, holy shit, 9 years is insane. And then we see people who can't pay. You see people go up, put their gold in, and they walk away. People are complaining because they're like, this is robbery. We don't even make enough. We weren't making enough when it was 1 gold, but now it's 3 gold. Like, how are we ever going to afford this? This is actually just fucking robbery. This is horrible. This is like inhumane, blah, blah, blah. Coming from demons, by the way. Eventually it gets to a point where like people can't pay. This old dude is like, I don't even know if I have 9 years left. And I think that, and this is what I mean by good writing here. I love this part. So the guy, they put him down, they suck 9 years out of his life. Later on, casually, it gets revealed that demons live, because Pansy says it. She's like, yeah, like demons, we only live for around 1,000 years or so. And Goku goes, what? 1,000 years? That's fucking long as hell. And she's like, like whatever. She's like, 9 years is a lot, especially when we only live for 1,000. That's what she said. She says 9 years is a lot, especially when we only live for around 1,000 years or so. And I was like,
Goku's like, what?
He's like, that still seems pretty fucking long. And Goku's innocent, obviously, but he's like, he knows 1,000 is 1,000 years to live is insane. What it does to the viewer, though, when you watch the scene, you don't know that demons live for 1,000 years. You have no idea what the lifespan of a demon is. When they say the number 9 years, and you're thinking of, obviously, you're a viewer, you're a human, I was immediately like, holy shit, that's so much. But then later on, it's revealed, like, oh, it's 1,000. It's 9 out of 1,000, which, again, it is a lot, but it's not, it's actually less than 1% of your life.
It's less, yeah. It's a lot, but it's less.
It's a lot, but it's so much less. Like, first of all, we live for 1,000 years. Kenny and I are babies right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. Fucking Pansy. Goku's like, well, how old are you?
82.
She's like, I'm 82. And he goes, you're older than me?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Pansy's 82 years old, and she looks like a child, which makes sense. Me and you would also we would look younger than we look right now if 1,000 was our average, like, year to die by natural causes. If that was normal for us to die at around 1,000, right now we would still look like we're 7 years old. Like, we would just be like, probably not even 7. We probably more so look like we're like Goku and them, like 6 years old, 5 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's such a cool way they structured they directed the episodes to go. You see the people having their gold or life situation, like just big bomb situation, and then later on it's revealed they actually live for 1,000 years. So when they say it, it's like, oh, okay, it's 9 years out of 1,000. Like, man, if you don't pay them people them taxes in life,
y'all don't just fucking deal with it.
Look.
Yeah, it's funny the way that plays out.
It'd be like if somebody said you lose a week of your life, or like a month. I didn't do the math, but let's just say like they're like, you lose a month of your life. You're like, okay, it's bad, but it's not like, you're not saying a month is like, okay, whatever. Especially
it's not the worst. It's not the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 1,000 years is so long.
It is actually. Like, I can't fathom it. Cannot actually fathom it. Somebody dying would be a big event. Like, your grandmother or whatever dying would be such a huge event.
Yeah. And think about, it's interesting, right? Because we've talked about that and death and whatnot, and how, like, for as long as you live until your mom dies, right?
Yeah.
Your mom was in your entire life.
Yep.
And then, like, that marks a moment. So, yeah, like, imagine you live 700 years and then, like, your mom or whatever dies. Like, you spent 700 years with them, right? Like,
right.
That'd be a huge impact in the fact that, like, the amount of time you spent with them.
Not only that, somebody dying from not natural causes would be such a big deal. It would be be a much bigger deal, I should say. Like, for example, people who are orphaned, you're living 1,000 years with no parent. We live for, like, if you're orphaned in our world, we live for 70, 80 years, men, and then we usually check. So living that long compared to living 1,000 without the person is fucking absurd.
Yeah.
conceptually. Like it's just a concept of living that long without a parent. And then, again, somebody dying at like 200 would be such a crazy thing because like holy shit, they died so young.
Yeah, you die at 200. It's like the amount of, if you think about it, like in the amount of years you stole, right? Like if you kill somebody at the age of 30 and they're going to live till 60, it's horrible, but like, 30 years. But if you kill somebody at 200 and they're supposed to live to 1,000, like you stole 800 years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. But when the old dude was like, I don't know if I have 9 years to give. And he was an old demon, so he probably is closing in on that 1,000 years or whatever. Like, he's not speaking hyperbolic. He's actually just being completely legit. But I thought he was like 80 something at the time. But then it's revealed he like 9 years really isn't that much unless you're close to his age, where 9 years does matter a lot more. But to like Pansy, she can give up 9 years and she's 82. She'd just be 90. And honestly,
it's like, all right.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Also, I don't think we found out what the life machine, like where that goes or what that. Did they?
Yeah, we don't know what that goes to necessarily, but I think it's also somewhat inspired by like a throwback to Bobbity, when Bobbity had that thing where he could steal energy and life force from people in order to like power up Boo before Boo hatched.
Gotcha.
I assume it's like a similar idea, magic technology. Something else that was really cool that's also a callback is, so they all had these collars, and the collars had like different effects or whatever that they were able to control, and like all the people of the third world were just like controlled, and like look, it's also made a point because when they're there, Pansy's like, what are you guys doing here? Like, where are you guys from? And it's like, oh, he's from the second demon world. He's from the first demon world. She's like, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, oh, we're just like on an adventure, because they don't want to reveal too much information. And she's like, you came to the third demon world for fun? Like, who? Nobody does that. Nobody comes here for fun. And then the cops are like, same exact thing. They're like, you came here for fun? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, nobody, you came here on a vacation. And it's very odd that people are even coming to the third demon world. And the third demons all get treated like, I don't know, slaves or whatever. They wear these collars. It gets revealed that the collars are made out of Kachin, which if you go back to when Gohan was on the Supreme Kai planet and he was pulling the Z sword out and they were testing the power of the Z sword, and like its ability or whatever, there's a point where Supreme Kai goes, I'm going to make the strongest metal in the universe, and I want to see if you can cut it. And he makes Kachin, and he makes this like black square. He says is made out of like this material, this called Kachin. He throws it at Gohan. Gohan tries to cut it. The sword breaks, and that's when the Elder Kai comes out of the sword. But it's interesting. So you find out Kachin is from the original Supreme Kai's planet in the second demon world, and the collars are made out of Kachin and allegedly made by his older sister. And then he is able to like just touch the collar, because she's like, oh, blah, blah, I'm going to be stuck with this for my whole life. And he goes, do you want me to remove it? And he just like does like a spell and like removes the collar from her neck.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how they're weaving in elements that were throughout the Dragon Ball franchise and weaving it into Daima and creating like a bigger lore and a bigger world and universe. Just connecting things. It's really fun. Also
love how the whole magic thing and the names of the characters, like we already knew Bibbidi, Bobbidi, and Boo, but then you have Abora and Adabora, which is really Abra and Kadabra and like Abracadabra, that type of thing. I really love the whole everything is magic in the demon. Like to the demons, they're like, oh, Goku, you can do magic. And he's like, no, I can't. Like I don't do magic. And they're like, well, you can do this, you can do that. You can shoot lasers, you can turn your hair gold. That's all magic to them. And then the names that Akira Toriyama chose to use for a lot of the villains in the demon world are actually based on magic words, because they literally show like, oh, the Bora's grandsire was Abora. And it's just really, it's really, when I was looking at the subtitle, because I watched those episodes in Japanese, it was like Abra, and then Dabra, Abra, Dabra, Kadabra, and I just was like, oh, that's actually so cool. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. I love the magic word thing. It's been a consistent thing throughout Dragon Ball Z and now in Daima.
Yeah. It's something I love about Toriyama's work in general. Most of his characters' names are a pun in some way, and it's just something that he enjoys doing. He just like little puns for a lot of his characters, and like for example, a lot of the Namekians, if I remember correctly, here's how it works. The Namekians from planet Namek, their names are based off of, I think, plants or something. I forget exactly, but all of the planet Namekians have like a naming convention, naming trope. I forget exactly what the convention is, but they all have a naming convention trope where it's like a similar.
That makes sense though.
The Earth Namekians, the ones that come from Demon King Piccolo and Demon King Piccolo's offspring, all are named after instruments. Like, you haven't gotten here yet, but there's a part, and there's a part where there's a character named Drum, and there's another character, but they're all named. And Piccolo is a wind instrument. Like, a piccolo is an instrument.
Oh wow! Did not know that.
And yeah, drum's an instrument. So anyway, yeah, there's like the Namekians that come from Earth. Well, they don't come from Earth, but the Namekians that are on Earth, all of their names are instruments. And then all the Namekians on the other planet have like a different naming convention. He has naming conventions for everything. It's really fun and cool. You know, the Saiyans are obviously vegetables.
Yep.
And yeah,
Vegeta, Kakarot, Carrot. Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoy the little lore pieces that we got. There's a lot of filling in the universe. There's that Supreme Majin Rimus that like was commanded by, at the time, that the Demon Lord at the time, he commanded him to create the universes. And I was like, that's so interesting.
Which is crazy.
And they said that these are the strongest, the highest authority in the entire universe is these like Majins. They're the highest authority. And I started thinking about, what's the name of the god? Zeno. I started thinking about Zeno. I was like, are they the same species?
I think they are, because they showed him. They showed him, and he looked like an older, different. Like, he didn't look like Zeno, but he looked like Zeno. Like, he looked like he was the same species. Yep. So I think you're correct. I think that is like the species that is Zeno that created like the universes.
Yep, the highest authority in the universe.
As we know, Zeno can just like, he's one of those characters where he can just like, he can say, okay, that universe doesn't exist.
Right. Right, like putting One Piece characters against is like, okay, well, they also have a character in Dragon Ball that can literally just say this entire universe is no longer is in existence.
Yeah. And so that's, once again, that's one of those things where like, you know, because people want, you know, bringing it all the way back to the start of this podcast, oh, this guy could beat Goku. But like, Dragon Ball Z has those characters too. Yeah. They have Zeno where he can go, oh, that universe doesn't exist. And it doesn't exist.
They have characters that stop time. They have characters that can rewind time. Like literally, I believe Whis in the Frieza movie, like Frieza destroys the Earth and Whis is like, okay, we can just go back. They simply just go back.
She's like, all right. Well,
it's just like a decision that was made by a character in the show to just go back.
Yep. He goes, I'm not really allowed to do this, but click, and he just rewinds time.
Hey, yo. That character is so unserious. All he likes to do is eat desserts, and he's just like super gay. He's basically me. Like, he's just not real. I love Whis.
Oh, that's the other thing, right? Whis is whiskey, and then his sister Vados is vodka.
Oh,
and then
shit.
Champa. Yeah, so Vados is vodka, Whis is whiskey, Champa is champagne, Beerus is beer.
That's amazing. I never noticed that. That is
all of Akira Toriyama's characters are all puns. Like every single one.
Love that. Literally love that. Wow. I'm impressed. The last thing I'll say, this is another just guess of what's going to happen. We were talking about the Tamagamis and how, as of right now, only number one appears to be like, you know, really, really powerful, but we also can't really grasp completely how strong Majin Ku is. I wonder, because they're all mechs, I wonder if they fuse.
Oh shit.
I wonder because you know, a big part of the Dragon Ball tropes are fusing. That is like Akira Toriyama's thing. He likes fusing things together. Or like, go ahead.
One of the bugs was a fusion bug, because they were talking about the bugs. They're like, this is called the ow 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 bug, and this helps you if you're burning, if you're on fire. Right. This bug helps you. This one helps you if you're sick. This one helps you like if you're out of stamina and you need energy and like your hunger or whatever. And they were like, this one combines up to 3 people. And then Goku goes, oh, you guys have fusion here too. So anyway,
so it's already it is. I think it's called. I brought this up before. I think it's called Chekhov's gun. If you present a gun in the first act, you have to use it before the third act or something, or by the third act, you have to use it. And I said this in Fantastic Four. They showed Mr. Fantastic making a machine that's able to teleport matter from one place to another, and they show it in the very beginning. And it's kind of just like at the time, it's kind of insignificant. It's like, okay, an egg moving from one desk to another desk, not really a big deal.
Yep.
By Act 3, that egg needs to be the entire planet Earth. And I feel like because I completely whiffed on that, the fusion bug part. But that being shown, I feel like needs to be used.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I don't know what it would be. I don't know if they would like, I don't know if Goku and Vegeta are going to fuse, or if they're going to do it in some other weird way, or something else is going to use it.
I definitely think we're going to get a young, because I can see, just for the hypeness of it, a young Vegeta or a young Gogeta or whatever. I can see that happening. The bug also, if they said it fuses 3 things, obviously the Tamagamis are 3. I can see those fusing. They might also just have an innate ability to fuse, which is what I originally thought, because they're mechs. They look mecha. Yeah. I don't know if they're organic material, but they look more mech than they do organic material. So I assume that like they can just break down some kind of way and have a hammer and a sword in one hand, or maybe that even the weapon fuses and it becomes a new weapon or something. And they look really cool. One of them was the one that Goku fought was like pretty fat, and then number 1 was pretty skinny, and they had 2 different weapons, and I forget what number 2 looks like. They did show him in episode 1, but I forget.
Yeah, same. Also, something I was going to mention earlier when you said you think maybe Goma is going to like, become
I
big
think
or
the
whatever.
wish is going to do it. I think when they wish,
yeah,
I think that the wish is going to be like, make us all adults again. And it's like, okay,
he'll
well,
be there.
Yeah, you're there. So us is him too.
Yeah. So something else I wanted to say is because I was saying that, like, obviously the girl has her own plan that's happening. There's different plans happening. There's also a chance that like the final boss or whatever is that Namekian. Because I think in episode 10, they're leaving original Namek, and then you see him, the fucking Namekian walking up.
Is that him? I was wondering 10. Which Namekian that was.
I'm pretty sure that's him. I'm pretty sure it was him just randomly on that Namek walking up. And the other thing is, I don't know when he got there, but assuming he was there the whole time, Goku never sensed him, or at least it didn't become clear to us that Goku sensed them.
Right.
And they made a point throughout these 10 episodes of Goku sensing things off screen multiple times. So anyway, I think going way back, I think that Namekian is definitely OD, and there's a chance we get to see him do some wild shit as well.
Interesting, because that Namekian is, like I said in the beginning, they hold him in high reverence. And if that is him that was walking up at the end, because I did see him, but he did not necessarily look familiar to me. But I did see him walking up with the stick, and he's super old. So there's only one other old Namekian, and it is that guy. So it probably is Neva, I think is his name. Goku did not sense him, and I agree. I don't think he did. And they didn't show him sensing him. The reason why I don't think he sensed him also is because when they got to that planet, Goku specifically was sensing Vegeta and everybody. He was just like, I sensed them. They were like, what is he doing? He's like, he can sense them. And they said that I think Giorgio says, you're such a strange person. Like, you're so strange that you can do that.
Yep.
But he blatantly can sense other people, but he didn't sense that Namekian, who's very powerful.
Yeah. So I'm super excited to see these next 10 episodes and just like see where it goes and just wrap it up. It sucks that, well, I mean, I don't know. It's cool. It's just one little thing. It's on one, and it sucks that it's only 20 episodes. It's fun that we keep getting Dragon Ball stuff. I don't know if Dragon Ball Super is ever coming back. I don't know
like, what's going on.
I don't know what's happening, but we got like Daima randomly. I don't know if we're ever getting Super again. I don't know if they're going to just make another random Dragon Ball thing at some point. Hopefully we get like another Dragon Ball movie, because those movies always go fucking hard.
The movies are nice. I like Super, at least the Tournament of Power, and I'm hoping that they continue with the manga, because the manga has some cool shit that I was hearing about and just getting like random spoilers for, which I really don't care about Dragon Ball Super spoilers like that. So whenever I see that,
I mean, in the manga, Goku learns how to use destruction.
Yes, and Vegeta becomes a god of destruction, and there's like Susanoo, where like Goku gets a spiritual astral projection version of himself, and he can like literally Susanoo. Like, there's so many cool things. There's Moro, the ram looking thing that's like stronger than anything has ever been.
Yeah, he's like Galactus. I think his name is literally like Moro, the World Eater.
Okay, so he literally is their Galactus. So they're giving them like, we're checking off boxes. Okay, Marvel has this thing. We're going to make one of these in this verse. It's kind of cool. And then also the Black Frieza, which is the last thing that I ever saw, was like Frieza has another form where he trained for like another month, and he became absolutely outrageously powerful to the point where he could just zero diff somebody that he should not, he should not be able to. Nobody should be able to zero diff this guy that he zero diffed when he showed up. So I do want to see all of that animated, even though like I know some of the things that happen. I still want to see it.
Yeah, it's fun to see it animated, hear the music, and they expand upon the things as well when they get animated usually. Yep. So I'm excited. The thing that I love about Dragon Ball is that it's never going to die. They just keep finding a way to do more Dragon Ball shit. Like they're just like, oh, here's some new Dragon Ball shit. Now that said, I will say this: Japan is very respectful of their dead. In that, like, for example, when Tien's voice actor died, they didn't replace his voice actor for a very long time. So when they like updated Dragon Ball Kai, for example, when they did Dragon Ball Kai and all of the voice actors came back and redubbed their lines, Tien's voice is still the old lines from the old voice actor from 20 years prior in Dragon Ball Kai, in the Japanese version. Obviously, the English version is different. Out of respect for Tien's voice actor who had died. So Japan has like a very strong respect for the dead in that kind of thing. So there is a chance maybe that they go like they take a break on like Dragon Ball Z because Akira Toriyama passed away. I don't know if they will, because he did work on Daima before he died. So yeah, I don't know. I hope they don't. I hope they just do it they make more Dragon Ball stuff in respect and celebration of Akira Toriyama. But yeah. Yeah,
I remember Akira Toriyama, when he died, we were podcasting at this time already because he died last year. I just Googled it too, just to make sure I'm not crazy. He died last year in March. And also pretty young, I want to say. He was born in 1955 to 2020 to 2024, so like not as old as one could be. 68 years old. Yeah, that's pretty young, actually. That is young. Yeah. 68 now, from today's living standards, you can absolutely live until 80 something. Trump is still alive. So, but yeah, he died pretty young, and he literally died last year. I remember that was like a big thing. We did a whole podcast on that because he's definitely the GOAT. Mm-hmm. I love that Japan has reverence for like their deceased, especially the iconic ones like that. I'm hoping that they do continue his legacy and do right by it, because watching Daima just reminded me how much I love the Dragon Ball series as a whole, like how much it shaped my childhood, how impactful it was on my childhood. I used to be in the playground at recess doing kamehamehas to my friend across the fucking yard, and like power struggling with each other, destructo disking, special beam cannons, like just doing. I knew all the moves, all the ways to do the moves, solar flare, just everything. And it's all so cool. It's also influential to kids. But I am hoping that they do continue his work. Like, I understand not wanting to immediately go into it because he's only been dead for a little over a year now. But at some point, like, Dragon Ball does need a complete remake. Like, start to finish, remake Dragon Ball Z, 100%. Remake Dragon Ball. Just like give it the One Piece treatment that's apparently going to happen, where they're taking it episode 1, season 1, all the way up. Like, redo that. It deserves it.
I would love that. And it would be in celebration of his work. Yes. You know what I mean? It would be in respect of his work, because he made arguably the most influential manga of all time.
Yes,
like,
I think it is.
What has happened after Dragon Ball, like, it all like sources, like One Piece, Naruto, like they all source up to Dragon Ball. And then there's like children under that. Like, you have Fairy Tail, which is heavily inspired by One Piece, which is heavily inspired by Dragon Ball. There's like a chain that ends up happening that comes from Dragon Ball. So, you know, I love it. I love everything it did. I love how fun and silly Daima is, and what they're doing with a lot of the Dragon Ball stuff. Like, they're not trying to give you a Death Note story. They're not trying to give you an Attack on Titan story. They're just trying to give you something to enjoy these characters they already know that you love, and let you have fun enjoying them more, doing different stuff. And they're just like having fun. You know what I mean? Like, just Goku being fucking good. Like, every time Goku gets in a fight, I'm like, yeah, that's Goku right there, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I just get happy. I'm like, yeah, that's my boy.
What I also like about Daima, I think a bit more than Dragon Ball Z, is that Dragon Ball Z takes itself very seriously, and Daima does not, but it still has the highs and lows that Dragon Ball Z can get to, with like the fights, the action, and stuff like that. But something about the comedic aspect of Daima is delivered so well, and it's just like Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is very comedic, but it also has the good action and like the fights, stuff like that. I really am growing to like those more than Dragon Ball Z. Just like in my head, like Dragon Ball Z is great for everything that is great for. Don't get me wrong. Like, it definitely set the standard for fights and things like that, for action. But I think the charm of Daima, and that it is so fucking entertaining. There's more than one, like, two things can be good. Death Note can be good, and Attack on Titan can be good, and Dragon Ball can also be good, just in a very different way.
Yes. And we need to get back on just like fitting it in. We got to watch like original Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Because I want you to see more, because there's just stuff that I want you to see that I'm super excited for you to see. So we got to go through that, and we'll do that. And there's like interesting things I want to talk about that come from that, but I'll save that for when we go through original Dragon Ball more.
Very well. Okay, with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap this episode up. So I'm going to give a shout out to people on the Patreon at the party member or higher tier. We have Smoking the Labong Bong pictured in profile, Nova Leo, Quest, Xavier Swift, This Ain't God, This is Stanley Earl, Hanging with Epstein, Mr. Fantastic, Henri Reynolds, Mitchell Niles, Vince, Dallas Bailey, KJ, How Much Media You Got, Sarah Maria, Alex Ahern, FT Campuck, Edison Club, Big Bora, Grok, Sugal, Mr. Soltai, Vicky Venomon, Elijah Barfault, Tyler Tadeo, Fulvi the Mega Monarch. Modern players are fucking brain dead. Y'all play the odds and run into my nib. That's why I always play nib and Ash decks. Janitor 215, Joshua Carroll, Eric Chai, Wayne Bangui, Brian Moore. In the Hero Frog Time Chamber, be back soon. Gingerilla, Darling, Hold My Hand. Tim Bailey can only do what Freerin can do. I like that. Real Nika, Billy Jiroji, Chef Taku, DeMarco Santos, Mamezuku Rai, Cormac Newton, B-Dog 23, Hershey Bar, and Poister, Tyler Frasher, Sasha Egger, Daniel Anderson, Daroa, Asta Mattress, Sleeping is Goated, Jordan Eastman, Robert Light, Casvold 95, Klanger, Fontina Andrea, John Doe, HT19, and then we have
Gregory Calmaring, Limp Bizkit Jigsaw, Mike and John, Rich Silverberg, Santi, Frago, Anthony Japov, Michael Zhang, Tyler, Chris Louie, Luis Juarez, Julian Weidman, almost said Julian again. The Hopeless One, Nicholas Cook, Ian Baylor, Choo Choo Train, Cave, Raj, Chris Kemp, Golems Are People Too, Trace Crumminga, John K, Cameron, Dark Void TG, Pearson Boyer, Aurelioke, Samu, Daniel Brando, Jackson Conrad, Shrabster, Chris Flores, Gormont, Cold Mantis, Alexander Storp, Wolf Young, Ruben Santana, Smiley Face, Justin Herman, Jake Tammer, Carlos Martinez, Nakata Nyon, Chess Prime, Connor Ketchum, Nova HD, Mass 22, Joshua S, Luca Guarino, Carl White, Idris Hosni, and Chris Johnston.
Again, thank you so much, guys, for the support. We appreciate you. And with that being said, do the things that make you happy, including enjoying Dragon Ball Daima. So far, we are halfway through, and it is very good.
So long, Gay Bowser.
So long.